Planet. The biggest, the most physical, the most athletically gifted. I'm excited to see what these two bring to the table.
I am as well. The two split this year, exchanging dominant wins. Wyatt won dominantly, and then Mason returned the favor with a tech fall victory of his own. An unpredictable matchup here. And we are underway, 125 kilograms, and Wyatt pursuing Mason with the arm spin. No points on the board yet, but a step out potentially coming. That's going to be one red for Wyatt Hendrickson. What a start there.
Well, he went for it right away, and you love to see that. What I like about the position is how Wyatt continued to look for the push out even after.
And there's Mason going for his patented dump. Close. Good recovery there from Wyatt Hendrickson. That's one of Mason's best attacks.
And look at the agility on display by Wyatt Hendrickson, moving well. Signal from the official, and that's going to be a second push out in the first 35 seconds of the match.
Wyatt had a solid angle on the go behind. Good recovery from Mason, only giving up the one. Looked like a takedown could have been imminent there.
It was bronze in Tirana, Albania, and a Pan Am gold in 25 and 26. He was a U20 gold medalist in the world in 2023 and a junior world team member in 2021. Three-time All-American at Oklahoma State and Airports and an NCAA champion and Hodge Trophy
so brief
winner
pause, I think a scoring issue here. They're going to get squared away before we reset. But Jordan, your opening thoughts on the tone set by Wyatt or Mason?
I think we're going to see the best version of Wyatt Hendrickson today. If you remember, at this time last year, he was going through quite a change in his lifestyle. He was getting married. He had become the best man on the planet in regards to the improbable upset that he had at the NCAA championships last year over Gable Stevenson. And his life was in a whirlwind of success and fame. But now he's got the chance to settle in. He's got an additional year in Stillwater. He's got great training partners. Connor Doucette, Merrill, who was the national finalist at 197 pounds.
Sweep single there from Mason Parris. This is his go-to attack, that left-handed single leg. Trying to come up standing with it, and he is standing, bringing Parris to the zone, or Wyatt to the zone. He's going to get the finish. Take down Parris into the lead.
Very savvy by Mason Parris there, looking like he was just looking for a push out. But Hendrickson continues to try to wrestle through the position, ends up giving up the takedown, and just like that, Mason Parris takes the lead on criteria.
Both these guys tough from the parterre position. Both guys have turned the other in parterre. Wyatt Hendrickson's got probably the best turn of the bunch. So right now, it's been Mason Parris setting the offensive tone. He had the arm spin, he tried his carry and a single leg, and here's another single leg, and now a re-attack for Wyatt Hendrickson. He's close to two, he's gonna get two. Back in the lead is Wyatt.
Right to the gut.
And he takes him over for more.
And he's keeping the head buried on the left side. He's gonna try it again. Lock slips a little bit. But what a sequence there by Wyatt Hendrickson. What I'm noticing early is his counter offense is on point. We've seen the sweep single attempt from Mason Parris on a few different occasions, and he's running down angle. And once he gets up to his feet, he doesn't try to elevate and treetop him. He actually cracks him down, cuts him back, sits him onto his butt, right into his gut. Great sequence.
And in the lead up to this match, a lot of talk was around who makes the mistakes, who shoots one too many times. And right there, Mason gives up not just 2 points, but 4 on one errant leg attack.
And look at the movement. Look at the stutter. Look at the fakes from Wyatt Hendrickson. He's looking more mobile and agile than we've typically seen him in the past. Mason Parris, a little bit more slow, methodical approach. Stands taller in his stance, looking to hand fight. Throws in the occasional fake, but Hendrickson has built his brand on athleticism at the heavyweight weight class.
Another single leg, trying to come out the back door. Mason Parris in good position here. Catching the ankle is Wyatt Hendrickson, trying to come up and around. Mason improving slowly. 22 seconds to work for this finish left in the period. Gonna try to get that right leg back or step over for the takedown. Nothing yet, but it's gotta be close. And trying to take him over almost in a Turk position, but staying on the leg. It's going to be 2 exposure. And got to be careful for the fall here.
Oh, he's in trouble here.
That was close, Jordan. Back and forth we go, 6-4. Exactly how many fans thought this would go. A back and forth affair. 6-4 Wyatt at the break.
Yeah, what a great match so far.
What are you telling Mason Parris right now if you're in his corner, down 2?
Keep shooting, but understand this, that when you shoot and make an attempt, he's gonna run down the corner on your right side. So if you miss, you gotta be ready to recover right away. What I like about what both of these guys are doing is they're finishing effectively. When they get to those single legs, there are no stalemates. They're finding a way to utilize their single leg offense and get all the way through to the finishes. Lots of points here in the first period.
There you see David Taylor in the corner for Wyatt Hendrickson, along with Cowboy RTC head coach Lee Roper. There's the bio for Wyatt. He's accomplished just about everything you can here in America as we're underway in this second period of match number 1 of this 2 out of 3 series.
And if you're Hendrickson, I'm continuing to move my feet, being an elusive target, trying to understand that Mason Parris is going to take the risk. Your counter offense has been really effective. Now let's try to get him moving, force him into a bad or errant shot.
Another single leg down block from Wyatt Hendrickson. He was ready for that one.
And that was a great low-risk attack there by Mason Parris. Didn't put himself underneath the hips of Wyatt, recovered easily. Those are the shots that you want to take.
Maybe the most passive Wyatt Hendrickson we've seen from an offensive standpoint. He's been sitting back and waiting for Mason to beat himself. It's got him a 2-point lead, but is going to be able to hold him off these final 2 minutes. Single leg now running around is Mason Parris. Good recovery from Wyatt.
And again, the counter offense, look at the sweep single. He gets back to the single leg. He's trying to find the lock again. He can't. Great offense. Let's see who they give this one to.
Now the step out came, I thought, from Wyatt. And then eventually Mason was able to run around.
So the question here becomes, Christian, did Mason Parris go out of bounds chasing down the corner looking for the go behind, or was it initiated by the attack from Wyatt Hendrickson?
So this is a recent rule change. This is going to be one for Wyatt Hendrickson, because Wyatt does not step out and Mason does.
But Mason steps out on the attempt. And so he's already out of bounds in the sequence without any direct pressure from Wyatt Hendrickson himself.
So this is a recent change. As of last week, I found out about this headed into the Trent Hiley Mike Mock. UWW put out a memo last week that regardless of who's initiating, who's offensive, it's straight up whoever steps out is giving up the point. And that's a change as of a couple weeks ago. Is Mason aware of that change? So I believe it's going to be one for Wyatt based on that. But they're looking. Now, I don't know if you guys can see the replay that's going on. We've got a big screen showing Mason Parris's left and right foot stepping out.
So the foot was clearly out of bounds at the onset of the sequence before he completed the go behind finish. Right, if you take a look at that left foot completely outside of the cylinder, with Hendrickson deep on the high crotch there.
Challenge decision on man 1. The blue wrestler steps out with his left foot while he's still in the standing position. There's 1 point red for a step out. The takedown is canceled. Time will be reset to 1 minute, 55 seconds, the time of the step out. The challenge is won. The score will be 7 red, 4 blue.
So 7-4 Wyatt. Wyatt gets the step out point. Still plenty of time to go here. They're going to change that score.
That's massive. Mason Parris goes from taking the lead to now being effectively down 2 sequences. He's going to need 2 takedowns to regain the lead here, as Wyatt finds himself back up 7-4.
Getting the clock right. I believe over a minute has elapsed. Yes, 1:55 remaining in the bout. Reminder, this is freestyle wrestling, no overtimes. And there's a sweep single, surprising everyone. Wyatt Hendrickson looking spin around is Mason Parris. He exposes, but he's coming around for 2.
It looks like another cube is coming out on Red's behalf.
And getting close here to the takedown, nothing yet.
He's got the leg hook, but notice Hendrickson keeping those hands clenched on the lock here. You'll look to see Parris try to hook shoulder, go cross face to exposure. Once he breaks the lock, he does get the 2-point takedown secured.
And the takedown is given, but we have another brick from Coach Taylor, and he's saying rather, he's a little exasperated right now because he feels like, hey, he rolled right across his back. That should be 2.
Yes.
So I don't know that I disagree with him. I thought it would be a 2 red for Wyatt. We're going to get that replay here, and we're going to see, I believe, what the replay official is going to be looking at here. So there's a shot. Talk us through this, Jordan.
Yeah, and so you'll see the way he turns there, he definitely rolls across his back and exposes. That's clear there. Now, who initiates the roll? Is it Mason Parris looking for exposure with the crotch lift, or is it Wyatt Hendrickson switching off to the double and taking him through?
There you see the recovery, and eventually Mason comes around for 2 of his own. So the way this would be scored if it goes the Cowboy way, it'd be 2 for Wyatt and then 1 reversal for Mason Parris.
That's right.
Which would make it 9-5.
And if we see this go in Parris's direction, the call will stand.
Yes, +1 failed challenge, which would make it 7-7. Right. And I believe that would put Mason into the lead by criteria. Here we're going to have the
challenge decision at 1. The initial attack, red is the attacking wrestler. Blue attempts a counterattack but fails. 2 points, red is confirmed. Blue then gains control from parterre position. He's given time to work on top. Only 1 point blue for the reversal. The challenge is 1, and the wrestlers will restart in the standing position. 2 red, 1 blue. The score will be 9 points red, 5 points blue.
So another challenge 1. Coach Taylor 2 for 2 with the bricks. 9-5. Hendrickson in the lead. Still a lot of time left, Jordan.
You've never seen someone get their brick back this many times in the same match. These guys are on fire tonight already with their challenges.
Wyatt rocking the nose strip. You ever wear one of those?
I have not. But I got to imagine that he's like a lot of wrestlers with deviated septums from all of the trauma that we've had to our faces. I'm sure it's helping him this evening.
Back underway here. Final minute 20 to go here. What's been a great, exciting, contentious match. Single leg from Mason Parris there. And another shot. Wyatt doing a good job circling to his left away from that sweep single.
Quality footwork we're seeing here from Hendrickson. Look at how he's moving off of the elbow, posting head.
Looking for that high crotch re-attack here.
Beautiful.
Was on the high crotch, switch double, now on the single leg. Shin whizzer from Mason Parris, 43 seconds to go as Wyatt retreats out of the attack. Back standing, single leg extended is Mason Parris. Final 35 here. Another club shot, very extended again is Mason Parris.
And Parris is doing a great job with the shot volume, just not with the shot selection, Christian. He's got to be a little bit more elusive, mysterious with his entry. He's taking straight shots. Hendrickson is very prepared, and he's just sprawling straight back, and he's ended up in the front headlock every time, wasting time. Hendrickson doing a great job defensively.
Desperation time for Mason, needs this finish and more, and he's not gonna get it. Match number 1 for the Cowboy, Wyatt Hendrickson, a match away from his 2nd straight world team.
Great job there, very smart wrestling, meticulous with the plan. I got to imagine coming from that corner. And what I was most impressed by is late in the match, he didn't panic, he didn't over wrestle. He got to angles, but knew exactly when to back off and not put himself in unnecessary risk. Wrestler in every position. If you ask the average wrestling fan, what's Ridge good at? They say he's great on top in folk style. But after watching him at the US Open and the World Team Trials last year, I'm like, man, he's just a great wrestler, period, regardless of style. 6 years the junior of Zain Retherford. We thought he was retired. He was gonna move on into the next season of life. He got the itch, and he looked great at the World Team Trials. How about the guys he was able to knock off? And even an NCAA champion in the finals with Caleb Henson. He doesn't look like the world championship version that we saw of him last in 2023. He's knocking the rust off a little bit, but we know at his best, he is world class.
Both on the mat, set to go. It'll be Ridge Lovett in the red singlet, Zain Retherford in the blue, and we're underway. Match number 1, 70 kilograms, Ridge versus Zain. What do you expect in this opening minute here?
Well, I'm curious to see the approach of each guy. If you're Ridge Lovett, you're trying to create opportunities for yourself. You want to get Zain in uncomfortable positions. And if you're Zain, you want to avoid wrestling as much as possible. You want to get deep on a shot, you want to finish quickly, avoid scrambles, and most likely play the passivity game. Keep your butt planted in the center, control the ties, and be the crafty veteran that he is.
And going to that 2-on-1 tie would align with your suggestion there, Jordan. 2-on-1, a great control tie for Zain Retherford.
And we saw it at the World Team Trials in the final against Caleb Henson. He only scored a single offensive point, which was a push out. And you know, he's a master at making himself look busy. He can move really well. He's really hard to rest your hands on. He's always in phenomenal shape and just does a really good job of being deflective with pressure and keeping himself centered.
Pretty neutral in terms of who has held center in this opening minute. Right now, the official indicating towards Zain Retherford as Ridge Lovett digs an underhook on that right side. That's a great position for Ridge. He's great upper body. You see him almost pick him up in the air, and then a shot, Ridge Lovett. Extended now as Ridge, as Zain defends. Now back up to his feet as Ridge Lovett trying to lift. Had his feet in the air for a moment, but Zain able to get really heavy as Ridge pressures towards the edge, and that should be 1.
Oh, we might get 2 here.
Step
Only a
out
single point.
Confirmed for Ridge, nearly a takedown.
And if you're Zain Retherford, that's okay, because you made him work really hard in that sequence. That was 30 seconds of extremely hard wrestling. Tried to lift him up off the mat, couldn't get him. But if you give up a push out there, I consider that a victory for Zain Retherford. Now he's right back to work.
They're gonna stop this. Zain warned for passivity. His first, not on the clock yet. Hard clubs from both. Zain's certainly known for his physical hand fight. Zain, one of the more credentialed and legendary NCAA wrestlers of all time. Dominated the 149-pound weight class. Never lost as he fires a double leg. Quick finish there for Zain Retherford. Nothing yet. As Ridge hanging on to that far ankle. Zain's got to continue to work around. Ridge's got to hang on.
Yeah, Ridge using his length as a weapon here. Notice how he's keeping that toe and finally is able to secure the takedown. Just continues to work, and he might have a leg lace here.
Ridge able to defend parterre, but the damage done as Zain Retherford takes the 2-1 lead. Zain, a 3-time NCAA champion, undefeated for Penn State, his sophomore, junior, and senior year, a 2-time Hodge Trophy winner. A lot of Hodge Trophy winners on the mat tonight at Final X. As Zain digs that underhook on the left side.
And if you're Ridge Lovett, this is where you want to be. You want to create opportunities, over ties, overhooks, underhooks. Any way you can get attached to Zain is beneficial for the NWTC corner, but Zain is really difficult to hold. And what he does is he lures you in with his consistent movement to the type of where you start chasing him, and then boom, that's when he fires off his shot. He's a really effective finisher.
There you're seeing Cody Sanderson, Olympic champion Jake Varner in the corner for Zain Retherford. As I mentioned, 3-time NCAA champion Zain Retherford. Punishing top wrestlers. Both these guys were punishing from the top position in their collegiate careers and have continued to have great success on the international stage as we're back to center for period number 2.
And Ridge has got to get to work right away. We saw Zain get hit with passivity early in the first period, but he's really taken the only shot that's been converted. Ridge with a single leg attempt. And this is where Zain is good. Look at him digging his toes into the mat, slowly trying to push Ridge Lovett into the danger zone. And with the recent rule change, Christian, of no grounded, we know how dangerous that danger zone becomes.
Absolutely, not gonna be able to back out of bounds when you're grounded anymore. They stand in the middle of the mat, still no one gone on that shot clock. Another shot from Ridge Lovett. The elusivity of Zain Retherford may be a little underrated. He's a tough guy to get to.
And so if we see another shot from Ridge Lovett here before we see one from Zain, we're likely going to see a passivity called on blue. But Zain doesn't need to panic here. He's in good position. Even giving up a passivity point, he still holds the lead by criteria.
Ridge Lovett will have to find a third point if he wants to win another shot, but once again extended is Ridge Lovett. One of Ridge's primary attacks is a good elbow control. He'll duck. There's another shot from space, and it's almost like the Mason Wyatt match, shooting from a distance against a very savvy defensive wrestler. Very tough to find that angle. What would you like to see change about Ridge's setups here?
Well, he's going to need to get Zain's feet planted, which is really difficult to do, but he's going to need to utilize some sort of misdirection. Plant his feet, get him heavy on his heels, and then fire off an attack. Or get him responding with a fake to get him to drop to his knees where you can cover front head and look go behind. Zain's in deep on a double leg again. But Ridge using his length. Now he's got the crotch lift. This is where he's dangerous.
This is a good position for Ridge Lovett. Minute to go here. Can he find his way to a crotch lift? He's locking her in. Now coming around the other side. You can tell Zain is now in a more of a defensive strategy.
And look at Ridge looking to find the leg lace, even this position, and he's got something here.
Got to be careful there, hanging out on your back. No points on the board there, but a decent opportunity there for Ridge Lovett. Final 43 seconds. Ridge Lovett needs to find 2 more points. Any way he can get him a pair of ones or a 2-point takedown would do the trick. Zain Retherford got the takedown he needed. Now clearly going to try to defend, keep the very dangerous Ridge Lovett at bay this final 22.
And Ridge has got to release that righty collar tie. You know, Zain's got the over tie thumb block position, and he's just kind of holding on to it and letting time run away, and he releases his sprawl really well. Ridge Lovett trying to take ground, but Zain just too stingy with his positioning.
2-1, Zain Retherford takes the first match, a match away from another world team. For Ridge Lovett, got a little bit of work to do.
Over the last few weeks, and he's built an incredible club out in Eastern PA, but what I love even more is that he really is a student of the game. And you have to be in the room with him to really experience it and watch it. Like, he knows how to sequence his match IQ, but also his wrestling. He has a great ability to chain wrestle from position to position. He doesn't take a ton of risks, but it's not necessary. The threat of the risk is what he's able to emulate very well in his wrestling. And Levi Haines is just extremely strong, a brute, holds position. He's like the juggernaut. Doesn't get tired, really disciplined stance, got a nice high C, quality finisher.
So we are now underway. It's Marsteller in the blue singlet, Levi Haines in the red to get this started. Chance to spend some time up at 86 kilograms. Now back down at 79. It's probably the weight where he's had the most success. But Levi Haines, just 21 years old despite graduating from college. Wrestled 4 years straight through. And now right to his, there's that arm spin. One of Chance's better attacks there. He scored with that hold consistently against some of the best in the world. Almost got one there, but Levi able to recover.
Yeah, and I like what Levi's doing with his movement here. You can see that he's taking elements of what we just witnessed with Zain Retherford, being hard to land on. Just real sticky with his own hands, and he doesn't just fully clear, he always clears to a progression. Keeping himself in position to make the first touch, be connected to his opponent. And those are gonna pay dividends late in the match. They may not be reflected on the scoreboard, but as you see, the referee starting to signal over to Marsteller for the next passivity.
Levi does a great job of rolling that collar into an attack as we have our first passivity warning, no one on the clock yet. Stutter fake there from Levi. Levi in his senior world debut had an incredible showing, making the world finals, upsetting the 2023 world champion Usmanov of Russia before falling to Greece in those finals. The Greek is now up at 86 kilograms, perhaps paving the way to a gold medal for one of these guys. Levi gonna go on the shot clock here.
And we haven't seen any real committed leg attacks yet. These guys are kind of resembling what we expected to see here.
Underhook on that left side for Chance Marsteller, but head position for Levi Haines, who has 14 seconds to score. Slower start here. Does that favor Chance or Levi?
I would say it favors Chance. He is, you know, taking his time. He doesn't really want to take any risk. He's going to play the shot clock game and look for these two to both come out on fire in the second period, knowing that the referee is ultimately going to make a decision on who's being most consistent with their action. And Haines, you can see, picking it up a little bit. There's a high C, switches off to a double.
2 red the call, 2 red confirmed. What a response from Levi Haines. His patented high crotch doubles off, beautiful finish. And he's gonna go into the second period, a 2-1 lead, Jordan.
And what a great decision that was. Most guys, when you see 10 to 12 seconds left in the first period, you take that gentleman's agreement that we're just going to end it here and go into the second and then resume our wrestling. But he decided to take the risk late, and it paid off big time. Switched off to the double from the high C. He's an effective finisher from that crackdown position. And now he finds himself in the lead. Chance now, the ball is in his court. He's got to be the aggressor coming out in the second period.
Chance a little slow getting back to center after that opening period, and a little slow getting back to center. You wonder about that fatigue factor for Chance Marsteller. Underway here in the second, and Chance stops it. I'm not sure.
I don't know if he ever looked at the scoreboard.
I don't think if he realized that he was down.
I think he believed that he got the 2 points from the exposure in that sequence.
Kind of uncharacteristic lack of awareness there from Chance, who's kind of lauded for his being a master of tactics, always knowing the time and the scenario. A lot of time left here. Popping at the head is Chance. You wrestled Levi Haines at the 2024 World Team Trials. What do you remember most about that match?
He was extremely strong. When I saw him at 157 pounds, I can't believe he ever made it, right?
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that you don't really recognize how big he is until you get up on him. He's got a big frame. He's tall. He fills out the weight class very nicely, up at 174 pounds. And he's a master hand fighter for a young kid. That's usually the biggest difference maker between the old guys and the young guys. And right to the inside reach single, and Chance concedes the position. He's gonna have his work cut out for him.
Figure 4 here from Levi Haines. He's looking for a trap arm gut. Can he get to that lock?
And he's got the bar on the left side.
No lock there, no turn, but the damage done. 4-1, and Chance now indicating towards his ribs. It does not seem like Chance is feeling too good right now.
Yeah, he finds himself in a unique position. He's typically not down this big. He has mastered the art of keeping the score close. Staying within striking distance is what makes him dangerous. But in this position, Levi Haines is in the driver's seat. He's got to be feeling good. He's warded off all his chances attacks. He's, for the most part, controlled the ties, held center. And outside of the one passivity point he's conceded, he's done all of the damage on the scoreboard. You know, at only 21, I think he's got a really bright future in this sport. He fills out the weight class perfectly. What'll be unique to see is where he fills in for the Olympic year.
Yes. Feels like he could still go down to 74 kilograms, but right now 79 seems perfect for Levi Haines. 2 for 2 on his attacks, connects on that high crotch, and then, you know, maybe had chance thinking about defending that high crotch, goes single leg the other way. Pretty quick finishes both times. Chance still gathering himself, gives a thumbs up. Not back to center yet, though. And he continues to touch his left ribs. All right, back underway. Final minute 40.
And you got to believe
Clock's not running there.
You got to believe this is personal for Levi Haines. You know, Chance Marsteller was up at 86 kilograms last year, and Levi Haines beat Evan Wick in the finals. And Chance is probably looking down, licking his chops and saying, I can beat that kid. He drops down a weight class, finds himself in Final X, but Levi Haines has looked exceptional thus far.
No holes in Levi Haines' game have been revealed at this point. They're adjusting the clock right now. .90 seconds to go for Chance Marsteller. What's his best path to getting back in this match?
Well, he's going to have to try to get on top and look for a turn. I think that's ultimately going to be it. He needs just a singular takedown, and then he's going to try to look to lock up a gut wrench in some capacity. But Haines has been really difficult to get to his legs, and not because of lack of attempts.
Now you're seeing Marsteller starting to open up those leg attacks, not getting close. Positioning on point for Levi Haines. A minute to go here. Final sprint time for Chance Marsteller. Low level shot, beautiful re-attack. Levi Haines in great position to add to his lead, and add he does. 6-1 Levi. That could do it, Jordan.
Yeah, I think what the difference maker that we're seeing here is Chance is coming down to 79. And so I have to believe that he's cutting a considerable amount of weight to get to the weight class. He just doesn't look like the fresher of the two guys. Haines is hustling back to the center. He's been the aggressor with all the attacks. He's gotten to the leg, and every time he has, he's been able to finish. I wouldn't say it's a strength differential between the two of them, but it looks like it might be a conditioning differential.
And if you're not feeling your best, Levi Haines not the guy you want to be wrestling as we come down to the final 20 seconds. It's a 5-point lead for Levi Haines of Penn State, trying to make his second straight world team for the Nittany Lion Training Center.
And it's the pressure. Watch what he does with the hand. Watch how he rolls the wrist and puts it on the opposite side of his head.
And he's going to continue to take ground the final seconds as this one will come to a close. Levi Haines leaving no doubt in match number 1. A 6-1 winner over Chance Marsteller.
Wow, he looked extraordinary. If he can keep replicating that version of himself, not only is he going to make another, and I watched him slowly morph himself and forge himself into a world-class competitor. You know, his IQ is off the charts.
Yeah.
Extremely smart, very disciplined wrestler. David hasn't looked like himself this year. After winning an NCAA championship last year, beating Mitch Messenbrink in 2 straight, coming within a hair of being on a medal stand last year at the World Championships. He's gone extremely close matches with Jarrett JQ and Jaden James, who's still in high school. He was beaten by Cam Amin and Joseph Seeley. But of all those things, he stayed the course. He still found a way. He is the definition of resilient. It's win and advance, and he keeps finding a way to get his hand raised against the best competition.
Underway, 74 kilograms in the blue. That's David Carr. In the red, James Green. Carr representing Cyclone RTC out of Iowa State. James Green, Nebraska Wrestling Training Center. Recently announced he's going to be joining staff at Virginia Tech, but finished his training at Nebraska, where he'd been on staff for the Cornhuskers. Coach Manning, Coach Snyder, two of the best in the business.
And this is James's farewell to the city of Lincoln. Always a Cornhusker, but moving on to now become a Hokie. I think if you're David Carr, you want to add pure volume to this match. You want to try to keep James as uncomfortable as you can with constant fakes, and look at the misdirection single leg. Gets the leg up, and he's going to look to finish for two. Look, he stops on the edge, content with the one. A little slow back to the center. But first blood strike by James Green there.
Beautiful left-handed single there from James Green, only converting the one. And in matches that are competitive, those finishes, those are the situations you can look back on sometimes. That two would have been huge.
In 2015, he was a world bronze medalist. 2017, a world silver medalist.
James doing a great job with that righty collar tie. Just warding off attacks, keeping Carr at bay.
So if volume's what you wanted from Carr, we haven't seen that in the first 2 minutes here. Is that a byproduct of the positioning and defense of James Green?
100%, and also the righty collar tie of James. Notice his first touch is always going to be righty collar. He can over tie, he can thumb block, so he's really hard to penetrate. He keeps his hips far back. And when I say he's strong, Christian, that's an understatement. His muscles feel like they're made of steel. He hasn't left the center the entire match. David's taking the risk, he's sending the attacks, but none of them can penetrate the defense thus far.
Final 33, a slower pace than I think we may have expected. Shot from Green, defended from David Carr. As we're gonna have a passivity warning against James Green. Next one we'll put him on the clock, but that wouldn't come until the second period. Left-handed collar there for David Carr. Great hand fighting here from James Green. And a very measured first period comes to an end. James Green holds the narrow 1-0 lead as we head into the second period. What are you going to tell David Carr if you're in the corner for him right now?
Continue to do what you're doing. He's doing a great job, right? It's 1-0. He hasn't given up any scores, only a single passivity to the push out. And so, you know, what my expectation is, if you're in David Carr's corner, is, hey, keep the shots flowing. Now is your chance to get an opportunity to put him on the clock. We've already seen the referees signal to red, but James is doing a good job of holding position.
Reminder, you're home to watch the best wrestling all year long, only on FloWrestling. Scan that QR code as we're now underway in the second period between David Carr and James Green. There's a shot right away from David Carr, defended well. Another thing for Green, it's not just the hand fighting, it's where he's standing in the mat. Carr's a guy that could get in on a shot, potentially get a step out. But if you're in the dead middle,
oh, beautiful.
Oh, yanked him back, get over here, says James Green. What's gonna be the call? 1-and-1 offered, and that is confirmed. So it's gonna be 2 points going up on the board, but a pair of ones is how he gets it, because they feel David Carr jumping out of bounds. And so he will give up that parterre restart. Not an unfamiliar situation for David Carr, who gave up this position in his match against Jaden James. What can you say about that pick from James Green? I feel like he's showing some new attacks in his arsenal.
Yeah, great job thus far. You know, what he's doing well is he's leading with that righty collar, and so it's opening up some opportunities with his left hand. There we saw that righty collar to the lefty pick, and, you know, he's warding off the offense very nicely. Notice how far his hips are back.
Carr pouncing to that double leg, couldn't get in. James Green putting it all together right now. Another shot. Can Carr re-attack? He tries, he's in, running his feet, but defended again by James Green. Minute 42 to go, another shot. We're seeing that volume, Jordan, but he's coming up just short of the leg is David Carr.
The attempts are there, the sequences are there. The one thing that's missing are the setups. He's not really doing a good job of moving James's hands. You have to get his hands off of your shoulders and your forehead. It's easier said than done, but that's ultimately where he's gonna see the reward. And he finally gets to the high C, pulls it in.
Back
looks for the trip.
And I think this could be two. What do they hold up? Two offered. Two confirmed by the mat chairman. And right now, David Carr is within a point, but James Green gonna take a little bit of injury time. Is he injured? Is it tactics? What do you think's going on here, Jordan?
Yeah, this is where you become a veteran here, right? Is you get into these positions where you start to get worn down, you get tired, and you know, you need just a moment to refocus, a small mental break.
And how about the effort it takes to finish a shot when you're as extended as David Carr was?
Yeah, and he takes him to the edge here, and we'll look to see if we can see any type of injury sustained. He may have hit his chin on the table, though, is what I think they may be attending to there. If you look, you can see immediately after that sequence, he reaches up and touches his chin. He may have taken him off the mat onto the score table.
And so far, I have not seen any points go on the board. 2 was thrown up by the whistle and confirmed by the mat chairman. But now we wait to see those go on the scoreboard. And yeah, maybe James is dazed. They're kind of pulling him up there. There you see Coach Snyder, Coach Manning. I think they're talking about the approach for James. This final minute, 8 seconds. The 2 goes on the board. A 1 for David Carr will put him in the lead by criteria, since he has the 2. There you see David's father, Nate Carr Sr., a wrestling legend in his own right, along with newly named Iowa State head coach Brent Metcalf, the corner for David. As Nate Carr Sr. heads out to the ref, gonna get a word in. James still not making his way back to center. They've kind of moved to a different corner of the mat. The trainer still attending to James.
James slowly working himself back up to whatever's ailing him. I'm not really sure. At first I thought it maybe was a chin bump on the score table. Now it looks like it may be some sort of leg hip injury. He's got a little bit of a limp as he walks back to the center. A minute left. Look to see a flurry right away from David Carr.
Another shot, looking to re-attack there is James Green. He looks fine. Final 47 seconds. Little stutter fake. He's getting reactions as David Carr. Underhook. That's going to be a great position for James Green. Looking to slip out of it with a duck is David Carr. Nothing there. Oh, and James Green, great timing. He's in good position on his finish. Spin around defense here for David Carr. This could be the exchange that decides the match. Carr coming around.
And look at the position. Both guys exposed. It looks like blue exposed here.
I thought so too. 2 red offered by the judge and confirmed by the chair. That's just going to be a 1 reversal. Does David Carr know that? The PA announcer said 2. Looking for the lace. He's going to have to get it. Can he get it? 7 seconds to go. He knows he's down. He's got to get a turn.
We're likely going to see we're likely going to see a block from blue.
And here comes the challenge. So what did you see in this exchange, Jordan?
I saw an exposure definitely for red here. If you look into the sequence, the way David was positioning himself, looking in the secure leg lace, watch, you'll look, he breaks the plane of 90 degrees here, only momentarily, but there. And it's initiated by James lifting up his left foot there. There's an exposure. And so I'm definitely going 2 red, 1 blue for the reversal.
And we're looking at exactly what the jury is looking at to base their decision on. Wait, and here they come. I think they're getting closer to this decision. This far ankle exchange. And yeah, they're both pretty close there, but pretty clear that David exposes. And here comes the call.
Challenge decision on mat 1. The red wrestler's attacking wrestler puts blue into the danger position when his elbow contacts the mat. His left back is less than 90 degrees. 2 red is confirmed. The action continues. Blue then gains control from parterre, 1 point reversal. Original call is confirmed, and the challenge is lost.
So that's gonna do it. That is the call. James Green takes match 1. The vet trying to make his 8th world team.
And looks really good doing it.
He started in 2015. Steve Buchanan trying to do something special here, Jordan.
Yeah, this is a Herculean task for any man, especially someone as young and new to freestyle as Stephen Buchanan. He's had some success. Won a ranking event earlier this year, and he provides a unique challenge for Kyle Snyder. We really haven't seen anyone this athletic at this weight class in a long time. 97 kilo is kind of a tricky weight class. When you're coming out of college, it's either 197 or heavyweight. Well, the 97s go down to 92 kilos, and the heavyweights stay up at heavy. So he's one of the few to venture into this 97 kilogram weight class. And he looks good so far. Big, strong, physical opponents, got some international success, but Kyle is Kyle. I remember when he first made the decision to leave Ohio State and go to Penn State, and how controversial that was, but it's paid off in a big way for him.
Both men make it to the center of the mat, and we are moments away from getting started here at 97 kilograms. Stephen Buchanan had one of the more significant wins of the year when he knocked off Olympic champion Hassan Yazdani overseas. That put Stephen Buchanan on the map. And how about this for an encore, a potential opportunity against Kyle Snyder, but right away you see the hand fight, the physicality that Kyle Snyder is going to bring to Buchanan. That's the challenge.
That is the challenge, and he has relentless pressure and a great pace. He actually looks physically leaner than I've seen him in a while. Looks extremely defined, looks good here at this weight class. Has filled in and slowly morphed into a man. He was already a young phenom and a champion in 2015, but now he looks like a guy who is ready to rule this weight class for really however long he decides to wrestle. He's mentioned on numerous occasions he wants to wrestle well into his 40s, and at this point in his career, I don't see anyone who can slow him down.
And he's just 30 years old. It's unbelievable. When you get started winning world championships at age 19, you can be 30 and still have a lot of winning in front of you, even though you have one of the more credentialed careers of all time. As Kyle strikes early with a step out, just did a good job methodically bringing Buchanan to that zone. Buchanan couldn't stay in front of him without going out of bounds, as Snyder will earn a passivity against Buchanan. First warning. Nice snap there from Snyder. Gets a reaction from Buchanan. He comes up with that underhook on the right side. Snyder has only failed to medal one time on the World Olympic stages at the 2024 Olympic Games, where he placed 5th, then responded in 2025, winning a world title as Stephen Buchanan shoots double to single left-handed, as he's got Snyder bouncing on the foot, and he's gonna get the one. Buchanan into the lead, JB.
And he weathers the storm, right? And I think he had to do that early. Snyder came out with an intense amount of pressure, but Stephen Buchanan didn't back down. He stood in the fight, maintained his poise and position, finally fires off a double leg, switches to the single, and gets a push out of his zone. Buchanan takes the lead, 1-1 by criteria, but he's gonna have to move his feet and be a little bit more mobile. Kyle giving him no space, and the one time he does give him a little bit of clearance is when we see the double leg from Buchanan.
There won't be a lot of opportunities for Buchanan, so he'll have to capitalize as we saw him do earlier. Now underhook on that right side for Snyder as they stop it to warn Kyle for passivity. His first warning, no one on the clock yet. 42 to go here in the opening period. Stephen Buchanan earned All-American honors at Wyoming, Oklahoma, and Iowa, capping off his career with an NCAA title at 197. Low level, that's old school Snyder. Comes up with the single leg, standing. He's gonna get the finish, I think. What's the call? 2 confirmed for Kyle Snyder.
That's a good call. And I love that big overtie snap. Waits for his opponent to come up into his level change, right to the ankle pick, gets it up off the mat, and gets the 2-point takedown. Snyder looking around with some confusion here.
I'm not sure, because he got the 2. But as it stands, 3-1, 15 to go here in the opening period. And a level change from Buchanan, but Snyder meets him, keeps that head down. First period done. 3-1 Snyder at the break. What do you tell Stephen Buchanan?
Well, he needs more attempts, more attacks. The one shot he actually did take, he converted, was able to get the push out. But if you're Snyder, you got to continue to close the gap. Make him uncomfortable with your hands and relentless pressure. What he's doing, and you'll notice he's pesky with his hands. He'll stuff the head, he'll pull on the collar. He really doesn't allow his opponent to get any time of rest, and he makes him bear the entirety of his weight, which, you know, slowly chips away at that power meter. Even though those things aren't getting reflected on the scoreboard, those are the ones that really start to wear on your opponent.
And right away, Snyder trying to get to that right side underhook. Spent 30 seconds there with coaches Jake Varner, Cale Sanderson, all 3 Olympic champions. Terry Brands, Brandon Sorensen in the corner for Buchanan. Snyder continuing to keep Buchanan's butt towards the edge.
And look at how he'll lean, even down to his chin. Chin dragging along the shoulder blade, hanging onto the neck, making him bear his weight. Those things seem trivial, but they weigh onto the psyche of your opponent.
The pressure certainly accumulates against the opponents of Kyle Snyder. 2:16 to go. Will we see Buchanan get back to that double leg?
Yeah, Snyder's backed off a little bit here offensively. He slowed down the hand fight. He's going to give Buchanan now an opportunity to get his offense going. Great fade.
Level change, yes. Snyder was Team USA's youngest world champion ever in 2015 when he won his opening world title at 97 kilograms, followed it up with an Olympic title in 2016 in Rio. Shot from Stephen Buchanan. Snyder, a native of Woodbine, Maryland, wrestled collegiately at Ohio State. Beautiful high crotch, head up across, now standing single for Snyder.
And smart, look at him.
Just gonna take the one. That 3-point margin is big because the takedown is not as much of a threat if you give up a takedown. Now up 4, excuse me.
And just being really smart, disciplined with his hands here. This is one of the better versions of Kyle that we've seen in quite some time. A young and a relatively green opponent at the senior level, but Stephen Buchanan, no slouch. NCAA champion at Iowa his senior year. As you mentioned earlier today, beat Olympic champion Hassan Yazdani earlier this season at a ranking series event, but Snyder just shutting him down.
And apart from that one attack from Buchanan, he really has not been close as Snyder continues to weigh on him in that short offense position. 38 seconds to go. Snyder's made 11 teams, trying to make his 12th. More stutter fakes from Buchanan, getting close to the leg. What's maybe the more underrated aspect of Kyle Snyder's game, Jordan?
There is none. I really don't think he has any holes in his wrestling, and I've watched him meticulously work to continue to get better. One of the things that I love and appreciate about his journey is he's one of the hardest working wrestlers I've ever seen, and Buchanan with the push out there to make it 5-2. It's not going to be enough, but he is the hardest worker in the room, in most rooms. He really believes in himself, and his faith is a deep part of.
Working hard in the training, worked hard in that match. A 5-2 winner for Kyle Snyder. He's a match away from making his 12th straight world team. Snyder does it yet again. World champion Marcus Blaze. And in this rivalry, of late, it's been Marcus with the advantage.
Yeah, this is the match most people have been waiting to see. We missed it, and we didn't get an opportunity to see it at the US Open with Ben Davino beating Jax Forrest in the semifinals, and then having Marcus Blaze sitting in the finals here to Final X, but we have it here today. We're so excited for the opportunity to watch this match. And you know, matchups are so important, and one of the things that we saw with Jax Forrest in the NCAA finals is he said, sometimes you can't be funky, sometimes you just got to win clean. We'll see which version of himself he decides to display today.
Very interested in this opening minute here at 61. Who sets the tone right away? Jax Forrest in the blue, Marcus Blaze in the white, gold, and red. Snap right away as you see Jax darting from space. Jax from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, wrestling at Oklahoma State. Blaze, Perrysburg, Ohio. Perrysburg High School. Just finished a great true freshman year for the Nittany Lions. Big Ten finalist, placing 4th at the national tournament. Jax Forrest, the champion there. And maybe the most discussed weight class all year long.
And there's some guys who aren't here who we believe are cut from the same cloth as these guys. Guys like Aaron Zahid and Ben Davino. And what I know about Jax is he has a variety of profiles that he can operate within to reveal his best wrestling. right? If he can throw chaotic wrestling at you and get into a bunch of dicey positions, he can be really disciplined with his hands and feet. Marcus Blaze is a well-studied, well-rehearsed individual as well. Very good positioning, keeps his elbows home. These guys have seen one another enough to know exactly what the other has.
Blaze warned for passivity. Forrest been threatening from space. No truly committed attacks, I would say, at this point, but Jack's setting a slightly more offensive tone. So now a short offense position. Both wrestlers wrestling from their knees, back up to their feet they go. Opening 90 seconds. Oh, almost timed the whistle there, Jax Forrest. Jax kind of pawing at both sides, faking that right-handed single. There it goes the other way. And Blaze gonna get put on the clock.
He's so precise with his movements. Watch the way Blaze catches hands out of the air, right? He's almost like Mr. Miyagi catching a fly with chopsticks. He can catch fingers and hands out of the air from any position, and he never really allows himself to get extended. He runs down corners extremely well with his counter offense, so you've got to get out of dodge quickly when you attack. Finds himself on the clock, and he doesn't really take any concerted effort. He's quite all right with conceding the first point of the match, knowing it won't hurt him.
So Jack strikes first with the shot clock point, up 1-0, 37 to go in this opening period. A pretty low scoring match thus far. Elbow off there, and there's another shot from Jax Forrest. Blaze brought his pristine positioning to final X here. Not a lot of opportunities yet for Jax. Final 13 here, underhook on that left side for Marcus Blaze. And as you mentioned, Blaze getting those hands, getting those wrists of Jax Forrest, and that's gonna do it for a first period. Not one true exchange there. No one got anything close to a score other than the shot clock, Jordan.
Well, Jax Forrest sent a bunch of shots Blaze's way, and Blaze sent a couple of counters, but he's just really tactical. He's not gonna do anything that he doesn't have to, risk if he knows that there's a possibility of him not being able to convert. As long as the score is close, Marcus Blaze feels safe. He has an awesome sprint that he can put together at the end of the match. I'd like to see him be more offensive here at the start of this second period, or else he's likely gonna find himself on the clock again.
Jax sets the tone early, pops both shoulders with his hands. Trying to get a little more offense going. Blaze, as you mentioned, his timing, picking spots, what he's well known for. See if he can find his way to a leg in this second period as Jax Forrest continues to pursue. That's the closest he's been, but a good recovery from Marcus Blaze. And another shot, he's in deep. Whizzer here for Marcus Blaze. Jax loses the foot.
Look at the flexibility. Rubber knee there from Marcus Blaze, and you're likely gonna see him get put on the clock again here shortly, but here's the beauty of it. It really doesn't matter. He's still, even if he gives up a secondary passivity point, a takedown still wins this match.
Short offense position here. This is where Marcus Blaze is the biggest threat, but Forrest able to recover. You saw that was the first real concerted effort from Marcus to score. When he gets that angle for short offense, he does a great job of running around. Not able to do so as Blaze goes on the clock here. Sometimes you see the shot clocks alternate, but if they feel one guy is just being significantly more passive, they will go back-to-back shot clocks. That's what the officials have elected to do here. 10 seconds from Jack scoring his second point.
Jack's clearly the aggressor throughout the entirety of this match. There's a nice ankle pick attempt by Marcus Blaze. He's picking up his speed a little bit.
2-0, Jack's the lead. A pair of shot clock points, as Jordan mentioned earlier, a takedown or any two-point move would put Blaze in the lead as he's got Jax Forrest in the zone. Jack's holding onto that elbow tight as he can, does not want to give up any scores from this position. Blaze trying to find an opportunity, but they blow it dead. Back to center, minute 27 to go.
Jax Forrest wisely sat on his heels there with toes dug. Most guys get pushed around in the danger zone when they drop down to their knees. He somehow planted himself, had leverage enough to not give up any ground in that position.
Now Forrest on the shot clock. So Blaze could come within one. Blaze continuing to grab those wrists, grab those hands. Will he follow it up with a leg attack? Final 10 of the shot clock. Underhook. See the level change there from Marcus. Blaze not able to get on a committed attack yet as it goes 2-1. Now 1 point for Blaze would put him in the lead via criteria. 39 to go. Blaze picking up his pace. He knows he needs to get a point. He's got 36 to do it. In on the foot. Cleared out by Jax Forrest. Keeps the elbow. Now coming up. Furious pace here from Marcus. Blaze trying to find an opportunity to score. And once again on his knees is Jax Forrest.
Oh.
Tough position. Underhook to the single. In good position is Marcus Blaze. And he's
That's going to be two. And we've got one here, which effectively he takes the lead.
So 2-2, no takedown.
They're not going to challenge because it's too risky here.
You don't want to challenge out of the lead. So one. Jax Forrest needs 1 point. He's got 18 seconds to do it. He's got to send it here, Jordan. There's a shot. He's got him towards the zone. Good job by Blaze. Circling back up in the middle.
Blaze has got to stay centered here. You can't run too much and evade position.
Caution and one offered. No way.
No way.
White
no,
paddle by the
white
jumping
paddle.
chair. Now we're back to action. 5 seconds to go. Bringing him to the edge. Blaze gonna squeeze.
Wow.
Hold. Match one. Marcus Blaze.
What a performance. What a performance. You know, in a game where we've gotten so adjusted to the buzzsaw style, go get him, go be offensive, go take him down a bunch. How about the master strategist? The guy who can be tactical.
Champion for the Iowa Hawkeyes taking on Luke Lilledahl, who just won his first NCAA title for Penn State. 7-year age gap here. Both guys done a lot of winning on the age level circuit. Both still vying for their first senior world gold.
And Spencer, I'm surprised to see him with a heavily taped elbow. It must have been a lot more serious at the US Open than we suspected in the moment. That thing's lingered a few months. But Luke Lilledahl won his first NCAA championship earlier this year. And that has to give you a supreme amount of confidence going into a matchup like this. But we do know that Spencer Lee is Spencer Lee, a 3-time NCAA champion, Olympic silver medalist, looking to get back on the team for some redemption after losing and being eliminated early at last year's World Championships. If you remember at the US Open, Spencer jumped out to a pretty big lead early. You know, 4-0, and Luke slowly walked him down, and Spencer has always been known as a quick starter.
And here we go. Early attack there from Spencer, takes a single leg, ends up with an underhook. Now short offense position here for Spencer Lee. He's got a tight headlock as he's looking for one. I thought this foot went out. Foot has gone out.
And this is the same thing that we saw at the US Open. Spencer looked like he had him really close to a push out. Luke Lilledahl played the edge like an expert.
And they're looking for that pinning point to be out of bounds to get that one. So the chest has to be out of bounds, not just the foot when they're in this grounded position. But there he comes up. They're gonna let Spencer work for the finish. No, they're not. Just the one. Thought they could have let that play out. Sometimes you see that, sometimes you don't. But either way, 1 point on the step out for Spencer Lee. Right-handed club there for Luke Lilledahl. St. Charles, Missouri. Wrestled in Pennsylvania at the prep school, Wyoming Seminary. Spencer Lee, Murraysville, Pennsylvania, Franklin Regional High School.
And Lilledahl did what we just saw Marcus Blaze do at the US Open. He just stayed in the fight, slowly chipped away at the lead, didn't allow himself to get too behind by too big of a margin, and was able to hit him with a nice ankle pick at once, and then the improbable headlock very late in the match. We'll see how he's going to be an effective scorer within this match as he goes on the shot clock for the first time.
Luke warned for passivity. Next one will put him on the clock. Left-handed collar there for Spencer Lee. There's a shot from Luke Lilledahl. Luke can attack both sides really well with a single leg. Spencer Lee, right-handed single. Got a great high crotch as well. But really, the Spencer Lee story is get on top, because when he gets on top, he has a 100% turn rate against Luke Lilledahl. But he's got to get there. He wasn't able to get there in that US Open final. That let Luke hang around, gave him the opportunity to get the win.
And I like to see how Spencer's recovered. You know, he was a guy that you would suspect would have already been sitting in final legs, but after being upset, he had to go to the World Team Trials, operating with an injured elbow, and beat some pretty tough guys in the process to secure his spot back here, showing a lot of resolve.
Level changes from Luke. They call him Lightning Luke for his quick strike leg attacks. You have to approach those cautiously against Spencer Lee. Spencer, as good as he is from the top position, sometimes he's just as dangerous when he's under attack, when you go after his legs. Luke taking a pragmatic approach here early as we're coming up on the final 24 seconds of the first period.
Spencer staying disciplined in his stance, not really reacting to the fakes at all, keeping his right hand at home prepared for an attack. And Lilledahl now looks to be the aggressor, taking some ground from Spencer.
And that'll do it for the first. Just 1 point on the board here. Slow start again. Spencer Lee, Luke Lilledahl. Who does the 1-0 lead really favor? Does that favor Luke Lilledahl?
Lilledahl all day. After what we saw he was able to create for himself at the US Open, this is the exact blueprint of what he wants to unfold here. Stay close, stay within striking distance, go sting him late.
There you see Tom Brands in the corner for Spencer Lee, Cale Sanderson, Cody Sanderson in the corner for Luke Lilledahl. Olympic champions in each corner for these athletes. And now underway in this second period. Spencer set an offensive tone early, but then kind of settled back after getting that opening score. Shot there now, short offense position. This is where Spencer was able to score earlier in the match. As he keeps that left hand deep on that tricep, almost in the armpit, but Lilledahl able to recover out of it. 2:30 remaining. And they're indicating towards Luke Lilledahl. Normally passivity decisions based on your position in the mat. Whoever's butt is towards the center, their opponent likely to go on the shot clock, and that's exactly what happens. Lilledahl on the clock. There's that shot, quick, and now looking to run around is Spencer Lee. Can he add to his lead here? Got him on the edge, and I think Lilledahl may have changed the mat on him. One red. That's a 2-point swing because Lilledahl was on the shot clock. Huge point for Luke Lilledahl.
He's been so good on the edge. If I'm Spencer, if I get him close to the edge, I'm no longer even looking for the push out. I'm just holding him in position and forcing him back on the clock.
Such a big exchange there. Felt like Spencer was going to get that one. And now those shots starting to get a read, but it's in on a shot. He's going to get two. Spencer Lee. Great re-attack there from Spencer. What a response.
Yeah, and that's what happens, and that's why Luke Lilledahl has been really conservative with his shot selection, is because Spencer is also known for great counter offense, and once he gets his paws on you, he's insanely strong. Runs down the corner, gets to the body lock, and secures a 2-point takedown and regain the lead.
Minute 15 to go here. Luke got that left hand inside. Spencer pulls it off. In the US Open final, Luke Fired a loft left-handed. Now, whoa, rolls him through. Spencer gonna get more points.
And he's looking for the gut right away.
And Spencer staying 100% on the turns. They blow it dead because the head touched out of bounds. But the second period been all Spencer Lee here, other than the one for Luke Lilledahl.
And this is what I believe most wrestling fans expected at the US Open. I think the injury hampered him just a little bit. And you know, Luke is a great opponent, and I believe that someday he's going to be a world medalist, but Spencer Lee is just too savvy in positions, and he needs to be attached to his opponents in order for the scoring sequences to occur, and every time they do, it works out for him. Luke Lilledahl, 23 seconds. He's going to need something big here, Christian.
And it's got to be desperation time for Luke Lilledahl. Spencer Lee holding position pretty well. Maybe Luke doesn't want to show his cards for a match 2, because not really going after the attacks is Lilledahl, as the clock will strike 0. Spencer Lee, 7-1 response. Little shove at the end. Spencer Lee says it's all good. Match 1 for the Hawkeye. He's a match away from making his 2nd straight world team.
That was a great performance. Extremely close on a number of occasions. He lost in the finals of the trials to David Taylor, to Kyle Dake. We had known that at some point it would eventually be his time, but you know, for a period of time, I think we all started to lose hope. When he made a transition out of Arizona State, moved out to Stillwater, in his very first year, he was a world champion, outscored his opponents 49-0, Christians, at last year's World Championships. We haven't seen much of him this year. I wonder if the lack of activity will influence his performance tonight, but when he's on, he's unquestionably the best wrestler in the world.
Zahid Valencia, 2025 world champion, outscoring that loaded field 49-0. Talking with the USA Wrestling Executive Director Rich Bender, said that was one of the greatest performances in American history. Rarefied air for Zahid Valencia. But a man who knows nothing but the exceptional Kyle Dake, a 4-time NCAA champion, 4-time world champion. But now trying to find his way to some scores against Zahid Valencia. Jordan, in the pre-show, you said Zahid, or Kyle, needs to score early.
Yeah,
how do you open him up?
That's going to be his MO. It's really difficult to score in Zahid because he wrestles really well from his knees, and he's so extremely explosive. So if you try to match his position on your knees, he's got a nice ankle pick from the collar tie. He can wrestle from the ties, and he's deceptively strong. When you look at him, you don't really see a guy who looks like a physical specimen, but when he gets his hands on you, he's so strong, so explosive. And Kyle does a lot of his wrestling as of late from the outside. A lot of movement, a lot of deceptive, elusive movements.
And for Zahid and Kyle, a lot of hands in the face, a lot of physicality early, some complaints from both sides on some of that contact. We'll see if the officials can get that under control, for that's going to be a theme for this series.
And so Kyle's going to have to engage in order to find a way to put points on the board. If you're Zahid, you don't want to chase him around.
Zahid teleports to that leg. It was a jab fake from Kyle Dake. Zahid drops in. Now here's that tough chest wrap position. Kyle Dake gives guys a lot of problems here, but can Zahid Valencia find his way to a finish? He's getting closer and closer, taking his time.
He has that leg back hooked here, trying to prevent Kyle from getting his legs onto the mat to use his power to drive, and Kyle is extraordinary in that position. Sat to his butt where most people would just look to turn down. He secures the chest wrap, lives to fight another day, and prevents the takedown.
That stop feels significant. That's a position where Kyle Dake has been having a hard time capitalizing up at 86. To stop Zahid, a fresh Zahid Valencia off a clean leg attack, that's got to give you a lot of hope in Kyle Dake potentially upsetting Zahid Valencia. You got to stop the leg attacks if you want to beat Zahid.
For sure, and not only that, you want to continue to take away from Zahid's power meter. I think that's going to be an important part of it, is not only preventing him from scoring, but also trying to wear on him. This is going to be a war of attrition. It's death of 1,000 cuts, so just taking a little bit of the energy away, and then eventually it'll make your attacks a little bit easier late.
All that said, Zahid Valencia going to strike first on that shot clock point. So he's got an overhook. Dake digging that underhook on the right side. Zahid Valencia looks pretty comfortable in that position. They'll stalemate it. 30 seconds to go in the opening period. Pawing at the head, and there's a club shot there from Zahid Valencia. That's his patented leg attack, that left-handed sweep.
Passivity call on Zahid Valencia there, which could be important later because it'll likely be him going on the shot clock second in the second period, which will effectively give Dake the lead 1-1. No real attempts from Kyle Dake yet, but he's really done a good job of holding center.
Little face shove at the break here as Dake makes his way to the corner. Jake Varner, Cody Sanderson. What do you think they're telling him right now, Jordan?
If you're Kyle Dake in this position, you're doing everything right. You're operating at a perfect level. You're not exhausting too much energy. You're staying centered. You just got the most recent passivity call. You're doing a great job. If you're Zahid, you don't want to get too overzealous and start chasing. I think it's important for him to stay confident and just stay poised in the center. Try to get Kyle put on the shot clock again is going to be easier than to try to go and get points from a takedown or a score that may put you in a risky position. But look at Dake taking ground right away.
Back to action here at 86. Dake trying to control center, would like it. Nothing else to get Zahid put on that clock. There's a shot, beautiful attack. Zahid doubles up, he's gonna get the finish this time. Takedown, Zahid Valencia up 3-0. And Zahid made that shot and finish look easy.
Yeah, and those are the ones that you need. You need the finishes that take little energy. You finish quickly, you don't put yourself in danger. He's gotta be riding high with confidence. Kyle's gonna have to now start to let go of his strategy and start to let it fly a little bit.
Dake continuing to control center. That's been fruitless thus far. No points on the board yet for Kyle Dake. Head wrap coming off. Zahid tosses it. 2:11 to go. Zahid gets that right hand on the collar. Dake tries to swing single right side, not there. More clubs, ear to ear they go. And when does Dake shoot? What's Dake's best leg attack, JB?
I would say it's his high crotch, but it's typically executed off the whistle. He's not a guy that shoots deep into sequences. He doesn't really flurry and create attacks. It's typically off of a restart. And we'll see if he can use this pressure from the underhook to put Zahid in a compromised position. He's starting to make the adjustments here.
Ear to ear as he looks for that ankle pick, it looked like for Dake. Not there, re-attack attempt from Zahid. They're back up on their feet, minute 18 to go. Club fake there from Zahid. And the officials indicating towards Zahid Valencia. Will he go on the clock? That would be huge for Dake. And that's exactly what's gonna happen. Zahid going on the shot clock. Except we're gonna have blood time, I believe, for Zahid. They're gonna come out, clean up. There you see Kyle Dake squatting down there. See the tape, his bio. 4-time NCAA champion at 4 different weight classes for Cornell. Hodge Trophy winner, 2-time champ. Is Zahid Valencia at the NCAA levels. We're back to action here. A minute to go. Zahid on the clock.
And if you're Zahid here, it's important that you don't put yourself in a risky position unnecessarily. Even giving up the one, Kyle's gonna need a takedown in order to beat you. Stay disciplined in your stance, solid with your position.
And Zahid looks happy, not happy, but willing to give up that shot clock point as it's now 3-1. Zahid's lead, and now Dake gonna try to get a 2-pointer as he comes to that seatbelt position here.
Oh, and it's tight. Look, he's locking that thing up. Look, he's going for it.
He's got the body lock. Does Kyle Dake picked him up? Nothing yet. That's gotta be a takedown.
That's 2.
1 and 2 confirmed by the mat chairman. And David Taylor gonna challenge this.
Which
now,
is probably wise.
There's no risk in this challenge.
That's right.
Because even if they lose the challenge and the point goes up, Zahid's still gonna need a point. So there's no reason not to challenge if you're Coach Taylor. So a wise brick here. And there, now does Dake step out first? We're gonna take a look here. This is what the officials are looking at as we speak. Now, Zahid steps out. Now, how long do you let the continuation go? They've been, I would like to, there have been 2 edge sequences that are very similar. James Green versus Carr and Blaze versus Forrest, and they called them differently. So I can't say I have a read on how this is going to be called. Now, the jury confirmed this is 2 in Carr versus Green, which makes me think this will be a confirmed 2-pointer as well.
Yeah, you got to think this is going to be 2 points. The sequence started inbounds. He's looking for the throw. Only a secondary step outside of the circle before he gets brought down to his belly. He didn't cover much distance or take them very far before he was able to secure the takedown. Zahid already in the act of falling.
Zahid nearly able to stay up on his feet, but not long enough. And there you see him bleeding. Here we're going to
challenge decision on mat 1. In order for the blue athlete to score a takedown in this position, the defensive athlete must be falling before blue goes out of bounds with both feet. In this circumstance, blue is completely out of bounds prior to red falling towards the mat. Therefore, it's only 1 point blue for the step out, and the challenge is won.
Some nuance there. David Taylor goes 3 for 3 with the brick.
Money.
3-2. Short time remaining. 11 seconds. Dake needs a point.
Oh, he's coming out.
Actually, he needs 2 points. Dake's got to get to 4. He's coming furious. 5 seconds to go. Dake pressuring in. Zahid trying to hold him off. And hold him off he does. Match 1 goes to Zahid Valencia. Crazy one, Jordan.
Oh man, that's one of those matches where, you know, it's a bit frustrating if you're Kyle, but I also think it's enlightening. You know, you discover you're a lot closer to this guy than we expected.
To get the win and force the 3rd match.
Typically don't see that high level of frequency of attacks at a heavyweight weight class. Both of these guys are shooters. Mason Parris is gonna come out. He's gotten really good at this lefty sweep single. But in those sequences, you notice that Wyatt Hendrickson's been running down the corners quickly. Lots of counter offense, lots of re-attacks, and that was a difference maker in the first match. I think he's gonna have to be a little bit more conservative with his shot selection and also be willing to recover right away.
At the same time, for Mason Parris, if you can jump out to a lead and force Wyatt to have to attack, maybe that could be a huge opportunity for Mason Parris. I think the first score is paramount in this 125 kilogram battle. They're on the mat. Mason Parris gonna be wearing the red singlet this time. Wyatt Hendrickson in the blue. As we are now underway, 125 kilograms. Shot right away, single leg. Wyatt Hendrickson in deep. Whizzer here, shallow whizzer from Mason Parris, but as I say that, he pulls that arm out. Very good.
And look at him controlling the 2-on-1, but Wyatt Hendrickson slowly works his hits back up.
Take down Hendrickson. Can he get another turn with that gut wrench? Going right to left. Likes to fake right, then winds up left. Can't get it. Now going to the right. Mason doing a good job defending. but the damage done early, Wyatt Hendrickson strikes first.
And you'd like to see that tone-setting takedown. 15 seconds within the match, he's already in on the leg and works hard to get through to the finish. And then not only that, Christian, he worked hard for a turn on top. Most guys are looking to rest from parterre position.
Back in.
And he's right back on that same lefty single. Breaks his hands momentarily. He's gonna look to get his right hand above the knee.
He's not conceding
look at the thigh
this.
pry.
Thigh pry, Mason Parris sticking with that shin whizzer. Wyatt wants this finish. He's not giving up on it now. Drops his left hand to the ankle, runs out of time, but another strong attack from Wyatt Hendrickson.
If you're Mason Parris here, now you've got to start to make the adjustments. The 2 shots in the first minute of the match have both gone to the same leg. They've been identical, and now he's in on a single leg of his own. Look at him rebuild, drives out of bounds. Great finish there.
And great response there from Mason Parris, getting in deep on that single leg. Heavy hips from Wyatt Hendrickson. Normally you see Mason able to come up with the foot, not able to do so here. 1 point lead for Hendrickson. And these two continued their high scoring battle.
The points just seem a little bit harder to come by for some reason on the biggest stages. Every single point matters, and these guys are really doing a good job of staying poised and staying in position, but sometimes it can be really tricky once you get into an attack and you don't finish, or maybe something's harder than you expect, not to shell back up and be conservative again.
Indicating towards Mason Parris is the mat official. Shot from Mason. Down block, good sprawl there from Wyatt Hendrickson.
And that's the level of recovery he needs to stay within the match.
Over under they stand. They blow it dead. 55 seconds to go in the opening period. Wyatt, 2 early single legs, got a takedown. Has not shot since. It's been Mason on the attack with his patented left-handed single. Just a point to show for it.
And interesting too is you don't see a ton of hand fighting from these guys. Both of them are shooting from the open. Nice club sweep.
There's another shot. Now Hendrickson trying to recover. Parris in good position on this finish. Now trying to come out the back door, getting close to exposure, if not the takedown, is Mason Parris. And keeping that foot is Wyatt Hendrickson. He winds up on the leg. What's gonna be the call here? A lot to settle. And he comes up to his feet. We've got another brick from David Taylor. We've had 2 challenges in this battle already in round number 1, and now in the first period of round 2, we're gonna see another brick. What did you see in this exchange, Jordan?
Well, one of the things that I saw here was not only did Mason Parris do a really good job elevating hips and staying in on the leg, he pops back door here, and that right there looks like exposure to me. It looks like he breaks the plane. Shoulders are a bit exposed a little bit earlier in the sequence, but even here, watch as he sits up to the mat. Although his hands don't touch, I believe he may have broken the plane once again after this position. So watch here, there.
So they're looking for that 90-degree break to see if he did in fact get exposure. And when that 2 came, I'm not as sure it was. This could be the Cowboy corner would like to just see a step out here for Wyatt Hendrickson, 1 point. The Cliff Keen bout for Mason Parris is looking for 2 exposure.
And I think
challenges to the mat 1. Never able to fully gain control in this position. The blue athlete never fully gains control. They go out of bounds in the grounded position. This is grounded out of bounds. 1 point blue for grounded out of bounds. The score changes. Therefore, the challenge is won. And there is a yellow card offered to the red corner.
So a lot to unpack there. David Taylor wins another challenge. The Cliff Keen corner gets a yellow card. And we've got a score change. Hendrickson now leading 3-1 after earning that step out. Gotta imagine that was Kevin Jackson that earned that yellow card. It's he and Darren.
He's not happy. Look,
and
he's looking all around. And, unhappy with that call, and rightfully so. It's a hotly contested match, and we know every point matters. Mason Parris back in on the single leg, fighting the heavy hips and the leg defense of Wyatt Hendrickson.
And that'll do it for the first period. 3-1 lead for Wyatt. Hendrickson got the takedown, got a step out on another wild exchange. These guys have had a couple really tough to call exchanges, which is why we've had 3 challenge bricks already in this series. What is it about the finishes for Mason Parris that have eluded him so far, Jordan?
Well, he's really good in on the scramble position. Guys get in on his legs, he gets in on legs. He's really difficult to stop from finishing and even harder to finish on. He wrestles through the positions, and that's creating some level of difficulty for Mason Parris here.
Second period now underway. Mason Parris within a takedown, a 2-pointer would put Mason in the lead via criteria. So narrow margin separating these two. And it's go time for Mason Parris. Back against the wall, having lost match number 1. Needs this one.
And I'd like to see Mason diversify his attack a little bit here. He's been going heavy to the right leg. But that's Wyatt's bread and butter. Scrambles well from that position. Wyatt back on a single, and look, he finds a way again. Pops out the back door.
Once again, on far ankle is Wyatt Hendrickson. Can he somehow navigate this? He's pulling that knee out. About to take that thing home with him. They blow it dead. And Kevin Jackson is apoplectic in the corner. 3-1 still. They blew that one dead. That was another great attack. I am stunned. Every time, Mason Parris finishing out the back door, that's one of his bread and butter positions. I am so surprised to see the challenge that Wyatt's giving him. Another shot now, this time Wyatt able to circle to his left, keeping that, now dropping in the foot, re-attack Wyatt Hendrickson.
And now he's gonna look to pop back door himself.
As he secures that far ankle, looking to step around, and now trying to scramble.
Leg half here, and there's the 2-point exposure. Puts Parris in danger. His scrambling ability has really just been the difference maker here.
And reminds you a little of David in the scrambles and exchanges. So good with that far ankle. And now are we seeing that tactics, that technical skill being passed down to the heavyweight in Wyatt Hendrickson? It looks to be so.
We've got a considerable amount of blood on the mat coming from the red corner.
So Mason's bleeding. They're gonna have to clean that up. But it's a great attack there. It was a re-attack from Wyatt Hendrickson, where we saw him able to navigate the finish to the exposure. That's a position that has eluded Mason Parris largely in this series and really been the difference.
And we talk a lot about setups, Christian, and you know, it's hard to stress the importance of them because most of the time you think they're necessary just for getting to the leg, but they're also imperative for the finish. The better the setup, the more off balance you get your opponent, you get an angle, it makes the finish significantly easier. But because he's shooting all of his single legs head on onto his Hendrickson's lead leg, which is probably his most proficient defensively, he's having a really hard time finishing it. He's gonna have to try to get to his trail leg, his left leg, if he believes he can score.
And one thing we saw from Mason early, and maybe what was his patented attack before the left-handed single really took off for him, was that dump. He gets that right hand inside, and he can kind of work for the carry or the near arm far leg. He went to that earlier in the first period of the first match, got close, and he hasn't gone back to it since. Does he need to go back to that attack? Because not only is that attack he's really good from, that has 4-point capabilities. He can get feet to back from that. That could be the missing attack for Mason Parris here. Mason's cleaned up, back to center. 1:25 to go in this match. Wyatt Hendrickson, a 4-point lead. Another shot from Mason Parris. He knows he's got to find his way to a series of scores or a 4-pointer. There he looks for that high crotch. Not there. Good sprawl here from Wyatt Hendrickson. Short drag attempt from Mason Parris. Not there. Left-handed single again for Mason Parris. Grabbing that near ankle is Wyatt Hendrickson. Sprawling heavy. And they'll stalemate that. 54 to go. Final minute for Mason Parris.
Oh, it's difficult. You start to think about the training environments, situations that these guys are both in. And Hendrickson coming off of a national championship and a world team berth last year, and just the abundance of talent within that room and the guys that he's rolling with, and Drayshawn Ross just touching down on campus, and David Taylor, and the amount of talent that they have here. He's improved significantly this late in his career. It's been fun to watch.
Certainly has, as he's now 31 seconds away from his second straight world team, but Mason will not stop firing, will not stop trying, but Wyatt Hendrickson defends yet again. Another shot from Mason and another score for Wyatt Hendrickson, and that could do it. A 7-1 lead, 16 to go. Wyatt Hendrickson in the driver's seat. And this has been a masterpiece from Wyatt.
It really has. If you look back a couple of years ago, there were two names in this heavyweight field that we talked about all year long. It was Mason Parris and it was Gable Steveson. Very rarely did we ever bring Wyatt Hendrickson into the conversation. Oh, and it wouldn't have been enough, but
and
going
Wyatt
out in
says,
style.
"Get off me." And that's how it's gonna end. Confusing finish as Wyatt drops. Hope he's okay. If he got hurt in that lace, that will be very sad. And you know what you saw there from Mason, man, he's grabbing his knee.
And after submitting to the match, hijinks a 7-1 victory.
So we're gonna wanna see that last bit where you saw Mason get in on that shot as time expired and then ran that lace. But as it stands, Wyatt Hendrickson, the man to beat still at 125 kilograms, a 7-1 winner.
Game opponent like Zain Retherford, who just moves well, never lets you rest his hands. He doesn't take any bad shots. He makes really intelligent decisions on the mat. But Ridge is gonna have to try to create some chaos. Almost like, hey, here, grab my leg. Let me 2-on-1 you. So I think that's the best way for him to get some offense flowing. He's gonna need to create opportunities for himself by just throwing caution to the wind and shaking things up.
Ridge wrestling out of Nebraska. Zain Retherford, Penn State. Both wrestlers were NCAA champions at 149 pounds, now up at 70 kilograms, 154 and change pounds. Zain Retherford, a two-time world finalist at this weight, silver in 22, gold in 2023. Trying to become a two-time world champion here in 2026. Underway, 70 kilograms. Ridge Lovett in the blue, Zain Retherford, white, gold, and red.
Zain Retherford 2-1.
And right away you see Ridge racing to control center.
And
that's the game plan. You got to get close. You got to tie him up and slow him down. Try to keep his movement at bay and manage the energy output that you use in the process.
And Ridge running to that underhook. Zain able to clear out of it. Zain is just a very disruptive wrestler.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to describe him.
It's hard to get a read on his rhythm. He's sort of rhythmless in his wrestling. You don't know where he's coming. He's always moving. Hands are moving. Feet are always moving. Just a tough guy to get hold of.
And what happens is when you finally think that you figured out the cadence and the rhythm of his movement, then he shoots.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's really difficult to time. And when he gets to your legs, he's a really high percentage finisher. Does a really good job of securing legs, finishing clean below the knees, and usually transitions well right into a leg lace.
Shot, Zain Retherford, low ankles, no two yet. Ridge threatening with that chest wrap, now lifting and getting the exposure is Zain Retherford. He's gonna strike first with two, and he's not done yet, looking for two more. And they're saying Ridge did not get defensible, so no additional two.
And Ridge has got to be careful here.
And now he has come defensible.
Oh, and that
Can
may
he
be
get a counter
blue.
two?
I'm looking too blue in that sequence. There we go, and it's confirmed by the side judges.
And this is the area where Ridge Lovett can be dangerous. These exchanges, this counter scoring situation. Now he's gonna come around. Will he get a chance to turn from the top position? Let's see. He's tough with his gut wrench, but he's content to hold here. 2-2, Ridge Lovett in the lead. He gives up 2 on exposure, but gets exposure of his own in that scramble.
And with wisdom there, he did it against Caleb Hinson in the U.S. Open final, but he does it again here where he remains in a compromised position, so he doesn't give up an additional 2 and finds a way to score out of it. But again, he needs to be attached and create the scrambling sequences, even if it's off of giving himself up and being out of position, even for a short period of time.
On the board first with that passivity point, leading now 1-0.
I feel like we saw exactly what you described with Zain. Ridge, his hand fighting, and then boom. Zain darts in quickly, low ankles, gets the exposure, and I feel like against most wrestlers, Zain's turning that into multiple scores. As Ridge Lovett now fires an underhook, digs those deep. Zain able to clear those. Back to center they go. Final 30 of the first period. See if Zain pushes to take the lead, or if Ridge elects to attack this final 13.
And Ridge still doing a good job of controlling center here. Looking for his underhooks, controlling ties. We haven't seen him get to any effective offensive attacks yet. The scores he's had
Two-time Hodge Trophy winner and
have come
three-time
from
national champion Zain Retherford.
the mistakes that Zain has made, and Zain has wrestled fairly flawlessly through these first 3 periods.
Last point score.
For Ridge, he was able to get in on a single leg in match number 1. Settled for a step out. That's really all the offense we've been able to see. As you see Mark Manning. What's Mark Manning telling him right now?
Mark is one of the most passionate guys I've ever been around. He loves the game, loves the sport. He loves his guys, most importantly.
Yes.
You know, it's special, and this is why guys stay beyond college. One of the biggest testaments to whether a coach is a high-level coach is if guys post-collegiately decide to stick around and wrestle for the RTC, and you see that very often at Nebraska.
Absolutely. Truly one of the best in the business, Mark Manning, and for Zain Retherford, Jake Varner, Cody Sanderson, his longtime coaches out at Penn State. The premier program in college wrestling today, as we're coming up opening 30, and the officials are indicating towards Zain Retherford. And passivity warning against Zain.
That is the second.
He is on the shot clock.
She will now go on the
For Zain,
clock.
this is
He's got 30 seconds to score.
a pointless point, you could call it, because he's losing anyways, and a 1-point step out, or a 1-point shot clock doesn't really change the dynamic at all.
And now look at him getting really active with his hands. Watch how he snaps and moves. He rarely stands in place for longer than a second or 2.
And there he times the reach of Ridge Lovett. Zain Retherford in deep on a shot. Close to the finish, nothing yet. Oh, they say 2, the knee touch. Takedown Zain Retherford,
And that's
4-2.
massive. Comes within 3 seconds of the shot clock ending, saving himself a point and also putting 2 more on the board for himself.
All 2s in this one, so a 2-pointer for Ridge would put him in the lead. A pair of 1s won't do it for Ridge Lovett. And now for Zain Retherford, you don't have to take those risks. You don't have to go into those, you know, treacherous waters attacking the legs of Ridge Lovett. You see the snap and faking from Zain. There's a shot, deep shot, Ridge Lovett. Working for the finish, Zain Retherford defending. Goes belly whizzer, now reaches inside, grabs that ankle, trying to finish out the back door is Ridge Lovett. This is a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Ridge, a proficient finisher.
And let's see what he can do from here. But look at Zain.
Wow.
Out scrambling him in his best position and exposes him.
Unbelievable. The fluidity from Zain Retherford now blows it wide open, 8-2, and he's not done yet. Looking for more exposure points. It was a 2-2 match not long ago, JB, and now it's 8-2, and the world champion smelling another world team.
Wow, what great scrambling technique he exhibited there. And now he's feeling confident and comfortable. He's ahead 8-2, but notice he won't slow down his movement. He's going to continue to control the ties. The one time Ridge converted and got to the attack deep in on the leg, and Zain was able to out-wrestle him there.
Another shot, it's desperation time for Ridge Lovett. Quarter Nelson defense. from Zain Retherford. Final 30 here in match number 2. Zain Retherford knocking on the door. There's a high crotch attempt, heavy sprawl, heavy hips. Zain Retherford looking to drag and run to that right side potentially. Elects to stay squared up, 10 seconds to go. Ridge gonna pursue, but it's not gonna happen. It's Zain Retherford back on the world team. 70 kilograms.
Impressive performance. He's getting better with every single match. Every competition, he's looked progressively better. And I think we're going to see the best version of him in Astana at the World Championships. Another world team for the world champion. He's back.
Couldn't agree more, Jordan. I feel like by the time October rolls around, that Zain Retherford that we saw.
The goldfish, right? Whatever happened in the last round doesn't really matter. You get a fresh slate when you come back for round 2. You can't think about winning the entire series. You just got to chip away and make one score at a time. That's going to be difficult to do against Levi Haines, but if there's anyone who knows and who's been in this position before, it's been Chance. How many 3-match series has he been in his wrestling career? So he understands what's at stake here, and he's just got to do some things a little bit differently.
2 Pennsylvania legends. Chance, a 4-time state champion at Kennerdale High School. One of the top prospects in high school wrestling history. Levi Haines, Biglerville High School. Couple times state champ in PA. And went on to do some great things. NCAA champion for Penn State 2 times. And a world silver medal a year ago. And now we're underway. Match number 2, 79 kilograms. Levi Haines in the blue, Chance Marsteller in the red. Club there from Chance Marsteller. And if the weight cut was difficult for Chance, how much better could you possibly feel now at 5 o'clock?
Well, there wasn't a big break between the 2 sessions. You may have got an hour, an extra hour and a half, but there's not a ton for hydration and replenishment. I'm sure he's feeling fairly the same that he did during the first match. I think the match just got away from him a little bit. But you get a fresh slate here now. You got to stay disciplined in your stance and try to put Levi on the shot clock first. I think he needs to just be a bit more aggressive. He doesn't have to convert the attacks. He just has to make himself look good in the eyes of the referee.
Abigail Nettie on the board first.
Long left side high crotch attack there from Chance. Not there this time. Underhook left side now cleared out by Chance. There's that left-handed sweep. That was butter smooth. Can he get the finish? Stepping around trying to lock in the crotch is Levi Haines. This is definitely Chance's best opportunity for a score so far, but Levi on the attack just as much as Chance is right now. Better position here for Chance as he switches to the other foot. Rolls back through, trying for counter exposure, can't get it. Nothing yet here. Now Levi not stopping his attack while defending. And they're going to blow this one dead. No points.
We've got 2 red on the board.
We do have 2 red on the board. I missed that. And we got a brick here from the Penn State corner. So I wonder if I didn't see the mat official, but I guess the judging chair maybe threw up a 2.
Yeah, and it was honestly a great attempt. You can see him try to work up, secure the leg, and then back hook the elbow as he runs. I can't really see from this angle whether there was an exposure or not. We'll get a better look here.
This is what they're looking at right now. There's the this is what the refs are looking at right now. And it looks like Levi may have cartwheeled on his head and not broken 90 based on that replay. And that's what they're looking for. Did Levi Haines break 90? What do you think, Jordan?
This is going to be a tough call. No Chance runs his feet. He's operating in the blind there. I think right there. Look at there's a moment where Levi's right arm is stuck underneath of him, and when he lands, you're going to see the shoulder slightly twisted.
Oh, maybe there?
Not yet.
Here we go. Calls in.
Challenge decision on mat 2. The original call of 2 red will stand. There's no indisputable evidence to show the blue wrestler did not go to the danger position. 2 points red confirmed, the challenge is lost.
How big is that for Chance Marsteller? 2-0, now 3-0. with the failed challenge, Jordan.
And not only that, but he gets a little bit of a break, right? That sequence took a lot of energy from him. He gets to refocus, and now he's got to get back on it. You can see the aggression coming from Haines. He's starting to elevate the hand fight, trying to bring the pressure to him. He gets Chance on the edge, deep in on the hamstring. Chance wisely circles himself back to the center.
Feels like Levi's really forcing the issue here. Rest all you want. Levi is bringing a punishing pace, clearing ties, hand fighting hard. This is a tough pace for anyone to endure. Feels like Chance is going to need to work to mitigate some of this hand fight from Levi.
Yeah, Chance is going to have to deflect some of the pressure and maybe elude some of it. You can't always go power with power. And it's just wearing on his core constantly. And there he does a good job, snaps, circles. But again, Levi back to the inside tie. Pulling tricep, pulling head.
And now grabbing his ribs, Chance Marsteller. Maybe taking a second. He had an issue with this in match number 1. Back to center he goes, though. Watch how much Levi, he moves at Chance's right hand, puts it on the other side of his head. That's how he was able to get to so many attacks. And there's that high crotch. Sit in the corner now, crackdown position.
And he's got just 10 seconds.
There's 2. They're giving the 2 there for Levi Haines. Can he get another 2 on a turn? No. But a huge score for Levi at the end of the first. 3-2 as we head to the break, Jordan.
Again, he did the same thing in match 1. Took the risk late going into the end of the first period and converted. He's always looking to get back to his high C. Everything he does in his hand fight, from the cat's meow, the wrist roll, the elbow pass, all leads back to the high C. And when he gets there, he is hard to stop from finishing.
And is it just me, or does it feel like, though Chance is in the lead, that it's going to be uphill for him to win this final 3 minutes?
Yep, he's going to have to get at least one more takedown. We know that. He's not going to be able to preserve his lead at 3-2. Someone's going to have to score again in order to secure the victory.
Does anything about Levi's hand fight potentially open up an arm spin opportunity for Chance?
A little bit. He doesn't really dig underhooks, fortunately for him, so he keeps his arms fairly short and does a lot of pulling. The arm spin is most effective when someone's leaning and pushing. And so notice he's doing a lot of snapping, giving ground, fakes, rolling elbows.
Active start to Chance, and he's going to take a second. He grabs his rib yet again. 29 seconds have surpassed already. Chance, you see him grimacing in pain, grabbing left rib cage. You wonder if this was an injury he came into the match with, because you didn't see anything in match 1 that would indicate that the injury happened today. Unlimited injury time in freestyle wrestling. So there's no clock. There is limit to blood time, so it's kind of the inverse of collegiate wrestling, where there's unlimited blood time but limited injury time. Chance back up. And now Chance coming back to center. Back underway at 79.
Nice, back to the high C again, and look how he switched off to the double so clean. And that's a 4-pointer, lands with the shoulder right in the belly. If Chance wasn't feeling good before, he's definitely not after that sequence. And Haines just staying the course.
Now looking for a trap arm maybe, but he loses it. 6-3 now. Levi Haines, a great response. Still 2 minutes to go. And Chance now, as the dust settles on the score, realizing the amount of points he just gave up. Chance, a pretty remarkable story. We did a documentary about Chance Marsteller. It's on our YouTube page, all Flow Sports channels, chronicling his struggles coming up as a Pennsylvania prodigy, battles with substance abuse, and then ultimately hitting the pinnacle of USA Wrestling. Encourage you to check that out as Chance tries to claw his way back into this match, down 3. Shot from Chance, but Levi does a good job catching the head and circling away from it. Final minute 14 to go here.
And Levi recognizes danger really well, right? Like you can see there's a couple of positions that it'll look like he's going for an opening, and then immediately he'll shut the door and say, nah, I'm gonna come back out and continue the hand fight. It's something that's unassuming and it's hard for the untrained eye to see, but he does a really good job at initiating sequences and then backing off at the last second when he perceives danger.
Hard shot from space from Chance Marsteller. Levi catches it yet again. Now circling out front. Hard club as he looks for that ankle pick, not there for Levi Haines. Final 30 for making his second straight world team. Chance, it's desperation time for Marsteller.
This is where that arm spin will come in handy. He's gonna need something big. He hasn't really been able to convert on leg attacks. He's gonna have to try something upper body and see if he can get a high amplitude move. 10 seconds left on the clock here.
And Chance gonna run out of time. It's Levi Haines time at 79 kilograms. A winner in 2 straight impressive performances. Levi Haines headed to Kazakhstan.
Man, he looked good today. He's got to be the favorite going into this year's World Championships at 79 kilos. For the most part, since the entry of the 79 kilos.
That's in front of David Carr.
Yeah, James processes information really quickly. His mind is like a supercomputer. Once you do something to him once, it's really hard to replicate. And, you know, what I love about it is he's originally from New Jersey. He grew up in Willingboro, not far from here, and so he's home. He's got a lot of friends and family in the crowd. He's in the process of a transition, leaving Nebraska to go to Virginia Tech, and he's made 7 teams already, but all down at 70 kilos. He finally decided to venture up. He looks bigger, stronger, more physical, and when I made the transition to 79, it preserved my career and extended it. And I think that's what you're seeing here from him. When you go up a weight class, you don't have to cut as much weight. It makes wrestling a little more fun, especially when you get into the coaching aspect.
No doubt those weight cuts can be brutal in international wrestling. Both athletes on the mat for James Green. He's in the blue and purple. David Carr in the red. Carr's gonna need this one to force a 3rd match. Both wrestlers planted dead center of the mat. Collar ties early, then boom, left-handed shot from James Green, runs through him for 2, and they blow it dead before the turn, JB. But that was like very nearly.
It looked like a second set was coming there. Nothing going. I think we've got some blood coming from the nose of James Green. A great way to start this match.
Reminder, the biggest week in high school wrestling is almost here, the 2026 60U Junior National Championships from Fargo, North Dakota, streamed live on FloWrestling July 10th through the 18th. Don't miss it. Head to FloWrestling.com for schedules, previews, and everything you need for Fargo. Back underway here, 74 kilograms. And every time James attacks, it seems like David Carr's just totally not ready for it. Just able to get those quick finishes. There's really very little resistance. And there you see that double leg from space for David Carr. What attack do you want to see from David Carr? What's the recipe to take down James?
He needs a misdirection. It's going to be the best way to catch James off guard. Right now, he's so sound and stout defensively that you have to have a deceptive approach. It's all about the sleight of hand. Fake left, go right. Fake high C, go to a sweep single. But all of his shots thus far have been very choreographed. They're coming right from out front. James has got really strong hips, and also he's he can receive information quickly, so when he shoots, he's always ready for it. Warding off the hands are also a really difficult part of James's wrestling, is getting him off of the thumb block and the collar tie to give yourself enough space to take a clean shot without being disrupted by his hands first.
And James looks like he's filled out to 74 kilograms. He always said 70 wasn't much of a weight cut for him, but now he looks full-sized here at 74. They're gonna wipe off the blood here. Make sure the mats are dry. As you see James Green, you see the poise. Very unflappable wrestler. Don't get a lot of emotion out of James on the mat. That poise has served him well, having made 7 world teams in his incredible career. And we're back underway here, 74 kilograms. There's that misdirection right to left, but James was ready for it. And there, a couple fakes, then he fires again. James just seems ready. Now a re-attack, James Green. He's got Carr bouncing on a foot. Nothing yet.
Carr wisely extending the position, pulling down on the head. James Green does a great job with the trip, gets him out of bounds. Only a single point there.
For Carr, not giving up that takedown is big. But as it stands, he needs to find his way to a score. James Green done a great job. We're gonna have another stoppage for blood. This time for James Green. Right now we're seeing some great defense, timely offense from James Green. Not a lack of attacks from David Carr, but just a lack of connection. He's unable to get his hands locked on the leg. It feels like if he gets in, we saw in match number 1, he got in deep on that high crotch, was extended, but able to pull in the finish. But getting in has just been such a bear for David Carr. Back to action here. Minute 15 remaining in this opening period. The officials indicating towards David Carr. He could go on the shot clock here. That's the last thing he needs.
And he's taking ground now. White paddle by the side judge.
And Carr really pressuring. And now starting to get some good reactions out of James Green. Feels like he has to keep this kind of pace, this kind of threat. And now we're gonna have more blood. And this feels like the exact opposite of what David Carr needs.
Yeah, if you're David, you need to have some sort of rhythm or cadence to this match so you can get your flow going and really start to extract some of the power and energy from James Green. But if you're James, this is great for you because you're wrestling in 40 to 50-second spurts. That's really beneficial for the older wrestler, and he's capitalizing on the rhythm of this match and how many stoppages are happening.
So James gonna have a nose plug in each nostril now, hopefully preventing any more blood time. They're wiping it up once again. Carr wrestled in high school out of Ohio, Perry High School. Had a great collegiate career for the Iowa State Cyclones, where he was a 2-time champion. James Green, 4-time All-American for the Huskers, World Silver in 2017, World Bronze in 2015. 7 world teams to James Green's name. He's tried at 65 before in the Olympic years, not been able to really recover from those weight cuts. Now up at his 3rd weight class, and a shot here from David Carr once again coming up short.
Again, that righty collar, look at how strong that thing is.
The re-attacks, how James is able to react to the shots of Carr and run his feet on the angle. keeping Carr under threat even when he attacks. 20 to go now. David Carr continuing to try to create an opening, left-handed, pulling on the head. Green staying at home.
James wisely just hanging out in the center, controlling size.
One period down in match number 2. David Carr trails 3-0. James Green a period away from world team number 8. For David Carr, what are the keys coming out of this second period?
I think you just have to keep the flurries going. Try to establish connection with James's body, but also trying to make sure that you remember he's got great counter offense. That was the one thing that cost him in the first match, is when he started to build a comeback, he missed out on an opportunity to really solidify himself because he was unaware of the reattacks. James that kind of lulled him to sleep. I think he's got to be aggressive but ready to get out of dodge just in case a reattack comes, and try to extend the scramble as much as he can.
Here we go, period number 2 of match 2 underway. The two men collide in the middle here.
You don't need it all at once.
There's a shot, beautiful drag, go behind for James Green. That is huge. Now leading 5-0. He was ready for that attack. Ran his feet to the left, and that was an easy go behind for James.
And again, the counter offense is the key. These counters have become the X factor in these matches. Is, you know, with her heavy workload and high volume comes high risk if you're David Carr in his camp. And, you know, James, now David's got to come and get you, and you can kind of just stay settled in your position and look to just chip away with counters and extend your lead.
There you see them trying to jam a plug up there, prevent the blood. James showing no signs of slowing down, 33 years old. We're seeing wrestlers older and older continue to have success. Jordan, you obviously wrestled incredibly high level into your 30s. Dake, Kyle Snyder now turned 30. Can still get some wins. There's a shot for James Green in deep on this high crotch, trying to counter as David Carr gets his hips back for the time being. Switch to the other side is James Green getting closer to the finish. David Carr needs to defend.
He's got no lock in the crotch here. Oh, now he's got his hands locked. He's going to try to float his hips up. James has to be careful in this position. Keeps himself in the fight. And that's pivotal right there. He remains within the match by not giving up that takedown. And James's counter offense has just been exceptional today.
He looked very well prepared for this matchup. And there's close to that leg, but man, the recovery of James Green. David Carr, I watched this guy live on the legs of Valiev of Albania and Sidakov of Russia, and to see him stymied like this just speaks to the level that James Green's at right now. Another shot, defended well by James Green. He's extended. There's a super duck attempt there. More blood.
More blood.
Extending this match.
Man, that thing is running.
Flowing. All those down blocks.
And these breaks are not for a lack of conditioning from Green's camp, but authentically high volume of blood pouring out of the right nostril. And as disruptive as these are for David Carr, it's equally as disruptive for James Green.
Reminder, great cause, Beat the Streets. Scan that QR code, donate to Beat the Streets today. Proud to partner with Beat the Streets over the years, a great organization helping kids in wrestling. Donate now. If not now, you can do it for the next blood time. And they're cleaning up the mats here. Looks like we're about ready to go, Jordan. David Carr, down 5, needs to get a series of scores. Does he need to go transition, takedown to turn here?
He does. You know, he hasn't used enough of his fakes. Fakes from the outside. Keep him moving. Keep him off balance. Keep him guessing. Keep misdirecting him. There he goes. And then he gets to the leg. See, when he fakes and he uses that motion, that movement, is when he's been most effective, but he's been trying to win from just strictly from the ties and from the outside.
Leg lace. He's close. He's got it. He's got it. Needs another turn here. Can he get it? It's tight.
Oh. Gets it. Wow.
Carr into the lead.
And there's plenty of blood spilling out here. If you look, there's a lot of blood.
A lot of blood. A rhythmless match, a crazy match, a bloody match.
And back from the dead.
Back from the dead.
Back
David
like
Carr.
The Undertaker. My goodness, we were ready to start crowning him. And all of a sudden, David Carr says, not so fast. 6 points, takedown, right to the leg lace. And that's been the MO. He needs more fakes. More fakes. It's been what's made his movement so effective, but he's trying to out-hand fight the hand fighter. You don't go in and out-hand fight James Green. It's not possible. He's just too incredibly crafty and intelligent in those positions. And wow.
What a weird match. I mean, what, 5 blood times at this point? All, you know.
And now there's an instant shift in strategy. If you're both of these guys, if you're David Carr, you got to keep your foot on the gas. You're not safe here. You need another takedown. If you're James Green, you take your time. You continue to stay rhythmic. You stay in the center, shoot. You try to stop your nose from bleeding for a split second, just so you can allow some of your own wrestling to develop.
Yeah, now what might have been working for James Green, working against him a little bit, as he's going to need to get into his own rhythm to get to 7 points. He's going to need to get to 7 on criteria. David Carr having all 2s, highest amplitude score favoring David Carr, so James will need to get to 7. A step out won't do it. Gonna need to get to 7. 37 to go. David Carr, not taking your advice, Jordan. Seems like he's content to play a positional game, clearing the ties of James Green as James attacks towards the edge.
He's got to be careful here. James taking ground, trying to walk him down. Ref wisely calls him back to the center and says, hey, Red, no more evading position.
Final 10 seconds. Carr staying engaged enough. A shot from James Green on the edge. One final attack, and we're going to have a match 3, JB. Carr does it. Takedown, 2 turns, match 3.
I thought that match was over. It was 5-0, controlled, and the breaks, it seemed like they were favoring James there because he was staying in the pocket and staying calm. And then
time for 97 kilograms. Just saw a crazy finish at 74, and right away Kyle Snyder in the blue. He's a match away. Stephen Buchanan's got his hands full against the Olympic champion in Snyder. What does Buchanan need to do differently in this opening period, Jordan?
He's got to fire off some attacks. Last match, he spent so much time reacting and responding to Kyle's hand fight that he never really got any clean shots off of his own. He can't just stand up to the pressure. You got to learn how to advance the hand fight, how to be like water, how to flow, and how to move off of the pressure. You're not going to outcondition Kyle Snyder. And so you don't want to make it a shootout, but you got to learn how to deflect pressure, play the game, and then when he gives you space, you got to take the attempt.
Right away, Buchanan warned for passivity, his first, as he snaps out of the ties from Kyle Snyder. Snyder just drops that head lower, snaps. just hand-fighting mastery. And there, snatch single attempt there from Buchanan goes the other way, and he's once again going to score. 1-0 lead for Buchanan.
And when Buchanan gets into the exchanges, he looks like he's a step ahead of Kyle there. Right, he flowed through that position from counter to counter fairly well. And I think that's what he has to try to create. Give himself opportunities by inviting the attack and then looking to defend, but also firing off some shots of his own. Now deflecting pressure well. Notice he goes snap, release, circles himself back to the center. Now it's gotten Kyle hitting with the first passivity of the match.
So better start for Buchanan, but really the final minutes against Kyle Snyder, usually the most important ones. That's when the onslaught of hand fighting really pays dividends for Kyle. The pressure, pulling on the head and neck, fatiguing his opponents. That's what he's trying to do here to Stephen Buchanan. Hard
Kyle,
shot.
nice shot.
Switches to head outside. He's in good position on a finish. He doesn't want one. He wants to get the takedown.
And just a snatch single there. No frills, but deep step, pulls in the leg, secures it, gets it up to his pit, and wisely walks him out of bounds.
So underhook on the right side as Snyder settles for the one. Still good to get on the board. High crotch attempt.
High crotch attempt. No one's home.
Buchanan was ready for that one, circled away from it. Got his head in the way, another shot. A lot of attacks here from Kyle, but it's Buchanan popping a double off, switches to a single, trying to get the one. Snyder changes the mat on him. Now it's Snyder in a position to potentially score.
And I like what Snyder did there defensively. Not only did he feed him hips, but he turned hip, making it really difficult for him to run him out of bounds from a square position. And Buchanan, he's got a nice little re-attack there from his knees. Good attempt there.
And that's it for the first. 1-1 on the scoreboard. Snyder leads by criteria. Can Buchanan stay in the fight this final 3 minutes, Jordan?
We shall see. What I love about round two is that you typically get to see guys' best. You reevaluate from what you've experienced in round one. You get to rehydrate a little bit more, sit down, talk with your coaches, and the period of feeling the opponent out is off now. It's over. Now you know you have to go do some things, make some adjustments, and so we see who's the craftiest of the two, who can make the adjustments the quickest in real time.
You see the bio for Buchanan. NCAA champion for the Hawkeyes, Zagreb Open champion, where he beat Olympic champion from Iran, Hassan Yazdani. Now looking for that pick again is Kyle Snyder, as he's active from the opening whistle.
I like that. He's going inside tie, fake high C, snapping with the tricep hand. And watch, he's gonna try it again. Look, left hand on the tricep, fake into the high crotch, just keeping Buchanan off balance. And he's always looking to progress. Goes from the inside tie, immediately goes into the underhook here.
And now we're gonna see Buchanan go on the shot clock. All one so far. 30 seconds down in this second period of match number 2. Snyder wins, he's back on the team. Buchanan needs some points if he wants to force a third and final match here at Final X.
And this is one of those moments where if you're Buchanan, you've got to go. You've got to go now. When you get a heavyweight champ on the ropes, you got to go get him. And again, with the high single, foot stomp right to the single. And if that was before the 30 seconds, he's going to get a point for the step out and the additional point.
You're exactly right, Jordan. 2 points go on the board for Snyder, 1 for the shot clock, 1 for the step out. And a little bit of blood. We've had a little bit of that today here. James Green. And now you see Buchanan got popped. A little bit of pain there as they're going to clean up the blood from Buchanan. Snyder waits in the middle of the mat. You've been on many teams with Kyle Snyder. How would you describe, you know, the man off the mat, the man where you see in the training room from Kyle?
Yeah, he's a gentle giant. He's very calm, very chill. He likes to compete, loves to play games, whether it's basketball, handball, spike ball. He wants to win in everything that he does, but he's also very inviting, welcoming to everyone who's around him. Frequently hosts Bible studies. He's a great leader and someone I always enjoy spending time around. Nice.
High crotch again. The leg attacks have looked great for Kyle Snyder. Big lift puts him down. Takedown Snyder. 5-1 with an exclamation point takedown.
And this is something we haven't typically seen from Kyle. He usually is just keyed in on beating people up with his hands, but now he's transitioning from the hand fight and adding those elements of the high C and low single that have been beautiful today and well executed.
Snyder definitely looking fantastic so far here at Final X. He's always been dominant domestically, but to see this array of leg attacks has to give you a lot of excitement as he looks to defend his world title. And it's going to be a tough one this year with likely Abdulrashid Sajalayev, pound for pound #1 wrestler in the world, likely returning to world competition for Russia. Shot attempt dragged there from Kyle Snyder. 46 seconds to go. Snyder gunning for world team number 12 as he gives up a step out there. Kind of just hung out in the zone there. There's a shot there. Nice shot from Stephen Buchanan. Head outside to head inside. He's going to get the quick trip. And just like that,
oh, you can't just let someone up.
He goes gable cut there. I haven't seen that one since Gable Stevenson.
The official's like, hey, you can't do that, sir.
He could say head touch. Oh, caution to 1.
Wait, what?
Wait.
Wait, what's happening?
They went caution to 1 against Snyder.
5-5.
And Buchanan's in the lead? Are they saying that Kyle went out of bounds and intentionally dropped his head? That's kind of unbelievable. Things change quickly
what
here.
What just happened? What?
It's 5-5. Buchanan's in the lead, Jordan.
This is unbelievable.
And we don't see a brick.
I blinked my eyes and he scored 4 points in like a single sequence. I'm not even understanding what's happening right now.
We'll have to go back and watch. We'll get to. Snyder's got 13 seconds to score. We'll have a third match.
Buchanan back from the dead with 2 matches in a row.
Snyder's
in on the leg.
Pressuring in. 4 seconds to go. Snyder looking to run around. Running out of time. Kyle Snyder falls for the first time since 2016. He loses to an American, and it's Stephen Buchanan, a 5-5 winner.
I'm in shock.
So all I want to see is that final sequence. We saw a great Kyle Snyder, and we saw quite a few points go on the board. We saw the takedown for Buchanan, but not sure. We will see soon between Jax Forrest and Marcus Blaze, a pair of 19-year-olds, Jordan.
What a match we saw in round 1. Jax has got to get back to being himself, and I think he's trying, but Marcus Blaze's defense is just that superior. You know, one of the things that I love about watching these two wrestle are they have such contrasting styles. And Marcus Blaze is the antithesis of Jax Forrest. Jax Forrest is throw everything and see what sticks. Marcus Blaze is measure twice and cut once. He's very disciplined with his shot selection, but he was able to go get Jax late, hold him off from a barrage of shots, and then go get him late for the match-deciding takedown.
Back at it we go in the red, Jax Forrest, in the blue, Marcus Blaze. We'll see the tactic from Jax Forrest, solving the puzzle. Marcus Blaze opening this guy up. It's a challenge for anyone in the world, and last match, it was a challenge for Jax Forrest. Right to left attack there from Marcus Blaze, falls short. And you see, Jax is trying to get that right hand on the elbow of Marcus Blaze, and Marcus just not letting him even get close to it as he looks for that slide by. Not been close.
Nice, he keeps those elbows wedged in between his hips and stays extremely close.
Jax gets in the eye there for a second. They'll take a quick break. Opening 45 here. Shot there from Marcus Blaze. I wonder if the way he scored is going to get him a little more offensive this match as Jax holds onto that elbow while Marcus tries to run around. Knee and a kickstand for Jax, and they'll blow it dead minute in.
And Marcus Blaze is really good from that short offense position. When he gets to the front headlock, you'll notice he slams shoulder, frees his arm, and typically starts to run either underhook or looking for some reattacks himself.
Jax continuing to attack. There's no question he's changed levels and fired more than anyone in this matchup, but he's not been close. And now looking to drag, run the angle is Marcus, not there though. Indicating towards Marcus Blaze right now. Marcus doesn't mind giving up a shot clock point.
And your first passivity on Blaze.
Minute 18 to go here.
Both competitors with
As Blaze on the shot clock now. Hard club there from Jax Forrest, trying to get a little more physical this time. Elbow control there, not able to generate an attack as Jax Forrest. Hands up in the air, now they break free again. Jax strikes first, 1-0 with the shot clock.
And first point on the board with the activity period expiration.
Blaze okay with conceding that point. He's looking pick.
35 seconds to go in the period.
Sweep counter offense. They spend a lot of the match in the finger fight here, which is where Blaze is good. Look at how quickly Jax recovers. He knows that when he misses, Blaze is running corner. He's got to get out of dodge quickly.
Why can't he get to legs, Jax?
Well, he's really not penetrating. A lot of what he does is just knee pound reach with expectation that his partner's going to fall into his attack. But Marcus Blaze, if you notice, he doesn't really move forward when he's wrestling. He just stays planted. He stays put, so he can move laterally and backwards really quickly and effectively.
One period down, 1 point on the board. It's for Jax Forrest. We'll see how the shot clock plays out. Feels like that's going to play a huge role in this matchup where neither guy seems to be able to score much offensively. As you see Jax Forrest with his corner, David Taylor and Jimmy Kennedy. There's a look at Marcus Blaze, U20 world champion last year. And we're back underway in this all-important second period. In match number 2, Jax Forrest has to win this match or Marcus Blaze is on the world team.
And it seems like the ultimate redemption for a guy like Marcus Blaze, considering he finished 4th at the NCAA tournament. Heralded as one of the best recruits in that class.
Now we're in another exchange here for Marcus. Jax has done a good job for the most part in these short offense positions as it gets stalemated yet again. It's unbelievable to see an NCAA podium look so much like the domestic podium as well, which is what we're seeing here. You had guys like Aaron Seidel and Ben Davino, great freestyle seasons as well at this weight class. That represents the top 4 at the national tournament.
And these guys, no strangers to the world stage already, making many age group world teams. And you know, they're very prepared. Typically when you see guys looking for their first or second experience on the world team, you seem to be a little cautious and nervous because they're fairly green at the international level. But you know, both of these guys, whoever wins this match is likely going to go on to medal at Worlds.
Marcus Blaze now.
And just like that, it's 1-1. Marcus Blaze into the lead with that shot clock.
And Blaze digging that underhook well on that right side. Look at him pressure, push. Toes are dug from Jax Forrest. And man, what great flexibility he has seated in that front headlock defense position to not give up that push out, give very little ground there.
Shot again from Jax Forrest. And will we see Marcus go back on the shot clock? Another shot from Jax Forrest, continuing to attack. And Marcus is in fact going on the shot clock.
Wow.
He'll have 30 seconds to score.
That was fast, Christian.
It was quick. I think they want to get it out of the way now and give, you don't want to do it with 40 seconds and you kind of, you know, make the guy run out of time. It's my guess. Underhook for Marcus Blaze. Jax Forrest recovering. Jax in a position here now. Marcus Blaze again trying to run around. 6 seconds remaining on that shot clock. Key exchange here. Can Marcus Blaze score?
He's got the toe here on that right side, but the flexibility.
That's crazy.
Of Jax Forrest.
How do you recover there? And recover he does. Jax Forrest leading 2-1. He's got to stay engaged here. And now shot from Blaze, and Jax capitalizes. Takedown and a turn. Blowing it wide open here is Jax Forrest. 5-point lead, 25 seconds to go. Little smirk there from Jax Forrest. He knows he's knocking on the door, forcing a third match.
Yep, he could see it. It was the first guy who made a mistake was gonna lose this match, and Jax Forrest weathers the storm. And just like that, blows the match open. We're going to match 3 here.
And now he smells it. Another shot here for Jax Forrest, but good recovery from Marcus Blaze. Jax finds the leg. Sitting on top is Marcus Blaze. He knows this one's over and he's gonna have to go to a third match. Jax takes this one and he says one more. He gives a little Trent Hidley punch to the head.
Man, we got 3 matches already going to a trilogy tonight. I don't remember the last time we've had 3 go to 3.
There goes
and we're
Jax.
not even done yet. Spencer Lee, because Spencer is just a bit more strong. He's a bit more crafty in positions. And so Luke is just gonna try to sting him from the outside. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, score when he can, and not take any unnecessary risks.
See the 2 men pacing on the mat, waiting for their opportunity to wrestle this second match. This will be the 6th meeting between these 2, I believe. Spencer Lee gonna try to get another win to make it on the world team. He complimented Luke for his ability and all the improvements he's shown. As we're back to center. Back to center, and we are underway. Match number 2, Luke Lilledahl, Spencer Lee. Lightning Luke in the blue, Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. Spencer Lee in the red and white, Hawkeye Wrestling Club. And there's looking for a go behind right away is Spencer Lee, dragging, looking to run left, but it's Luke that finds his way to the 2. Takedown, or excuse me, exposure for Luke Lilledahl, striking first, but it's Spencer Lee getting on top and he's trying to score.
Another 2.
They're gonna say 2. And I don't think you throw the brick.
Yeah, you have to.
Here comes the brick.
You have to. It's so soon. What's the difference between 5-0 and 4-0?
Good point.
I think the biggest difference here is the way that Spencer Lee planted himself. He's definitely going to give up an additional 2. So Luke is likely going to have 4 here. What they're hoping for is an additional 2 on the backside where he rolls them through. Spencer gets over leveraged here.
Yeah.
Trying to go behind. That's 2 blue. Comes out backside in this sequence. Gets to the quad pod position. Watch, he's going to try to go trapped arm gut. Boom, he gets planted. That's another 2. But what they're looking for is 2 immediately after.
Okay. So let's see. There's no question on the opening 2 is a clear 2 for Luke Lilledahl.
So that's 2 blue.
Yeah, and Spencer just did not have the right angle on that go behind. Now with this standing sequence, see, they're freezing it here. Is it possible that they go just the 1 step out?
That's right.
And then the 2 afterwards is is kind of nullified. I don't know. We'll see. You are now looking at exactly what the officials are looking at, and you can see how they're pausing and stopping and replaying. There you see Casey Gessel and Sammy Julian, the top officials for USA Wrestling. These are the two guys you want looking at these calls. And as you can see what they're looking at, they're discussing. As it stands right now, it's 4-0 for Luke Lilledahl in the opening 30 seconds here.
So we got 4. I'm going 4-2. Should likely be the score after this sequence. Luke Lilledahl ahead. Unless, as you mentioned, Christian, they give a 1-point push out here, which would make the score 2-1. Luke.
They've spent a lot of time frozen on that part with Luke's right foot out of bounds. Here we go.
The challenge decision on the mat, 1. In this initial action, blue is the attacking wrestler. Red comes to a standing position. He is off his knees. Therefore, when he goes to danger, it's worth 4 points. The action continues. Blue comes to a quad pod position with a step out. Therefore, any action beyond this point is not valid. Therefore, 1 point red for the step out from standing position. Time will be reset, 5 minutes, 36 seconds, and the challenge is won.
Still a worthwhile challenge for the Hawkeye corner as it goes from 4-0 to 4-1, even though that 4-pointer could loom large here for Luke Lilledahl.
Yeah, absolutely. That's huge. A 4-pointer is worth 3 takedowns, Christian. 5 push-outs for that single high-amplitude 4-point sequence. And if you're Luke Lilledahl, you gotta love it. You're up 4-1. You don't really have to take any risk for the remainder of the match. You gotta stay poised in position and float, lots of fakes, pushing, pulling, movement.
And Spencer Lee knows he's got to score as the official gives attention against Luke Lilledahl. Didn't like some of those clubs, it appears. And now they see Luke fire that shot, and every time he does, you see Spencer trying to run to that right side, as he did previously. He's pressuring Luke towards the zone, but good job changing the map by Luke Lilledahl. Double underhooks here for Spencer Lee. He's got him on the edge in the zone. Can he get the score? Nothing yet. 1 red confirmed for Spencer Lee, 4-2. Inching closer is Spencer Lee. Got the 1 on the step out, now another step out, making it 4-2. Swing single, looking re-attack there is Spencer Lee off the initial shot from Luke Lilledahl, who's continued to attack despite holding that lead. Probably feels like he needs to score more. And then Spencer got bonked and looked really dazed there. And I thought it was like his knee buckled, but it could be just from the head-to-head contact. If we can take a look at that exchange and see maybe what happened there for Spencer, as you hope he's all right.
Add 1 more off the passivity clock for Kilty. She now leads 2-0.
Looking a little dazed there. And not sure if they're given some kind of a concussion examination. Yeah, it looked like the index finger. They're trying to see how Spencer's eyes are tracking the fingers. There you see Luke Lilledahl. Here, let's take a look here. Boom, bumps the chin, not there. Boom, right there. And then the snap. And there, yeah, you can see. Definitely dazed there from that head-to-head contact, certainly incidental there, but does the damage all the same as they try to make sure Spencer's has his bearings about him, that it's not, going to be vulnerable if he comes out there with the head injury. Seems like he's gathered himself as I'm looking at him, makes his way, gives a little head shake. Still 4-2. on the scoreboard. You wonder how the head injury can potentially, when you get your bell rung like that, Jordan, how tough can it be to recover?
Yeah, it's going to take him a little bit of time to settle back in. But
as he shoots
like 2 seconds, because he's right back in on a shot. And he knows there's a task at hand here. He's not wavering from his responsibility. He knows he's got to go and put some points on the board.
Shot reattack attempt there for Luke Lilledahl, and you can see how Spencer's trying to hustle on those go-behinds. Lilledahl done a nice job of avoiding them. That's an adjustment for match one, where Spencer was able to get a key go-behind in the second period.
There seems to be a big strength differential between these two wrestlers, but there's also a mobility differential, because Luke Lilledahl can move well. Look at Spencer Lee try to work up to the body. Keeps driving. Lilledahl tries to turn him back to the center. Looks like his head is going to touch first. They're going to give 1 point red.
Workmanlike approach here from Spencer Lee. Down 1, but really he's going to have to get to 5 points at minimum to win this match with that 4-pointer from Lilledahl looming large right now. Lilledahl trying to avoid that mistake that cost him in match one, but you've got to maintain your aggression. You've got to maintain some level of offense. A long first period here, Jordan.
Yeah, and a high scoring first period as well. We're already 4-3, less than 3 minutes in, and Luke, you can see he's willing to rest here with this lead. He knows that he's got to give up a takedown. Spencer's got to get to at least 5 in order to take back the lead, and Lilledahl just doing a really good job of holding position and waiting for an attack.
And that's the end of period one.
That'll do it for the first. 4-3 lead for Luke Lilledahl. 1 score is all he needed so far. Got that opening counter score, and that was the difference so far.
And that was the big difference early. But you know, if you're Luke, he's likely going to need at least 1 more takedown in order to secure this victory. I don't think he's going to be able to stay here at 4 and secure. Spencer's going to come out like a madman in this second period, and he's slowly chipping away, but Luke's got to continue to move his feet and maybe create an exchange where he can find some more points.
Second period underway. Spencer trailing 4-3 as we head into this final period. For Luke Lilledahl, and there's a swing single, nice shot. Spencer Lee above the knee, trying to work for this finish. Can he get it? He's working up, slowly getting closer to the finish. And now there's the takedown. Can he get another turn? Got to be careful. Exposure, what's going to be the call here for Spencer?
I'm going white paddle. We'll see what the referees say on the far side.
They go 2-2.
They go 2-2.
7-4. Spencer maintaining his 100% turn rate against Luke Lilledahl when he gets that takedown in the middle.
And just like that, when he gets on top, he immediately starts transitioning into his gut wrench.
"50 seconds down, and Spencer Lee got himself back into this match, and now a pretty daunting lead for Luke Lilledahl to run down, but not something he hasn't done before. We saw it at the US Open. Can lightning strike twice?
And when these two matches, really the only difference between Luke scoring 4 and only scoring 1 between the two is that first initial sequence, and those were both off of Spencer Lee's offense that he was able to counter.
Approaching the final 90 here for Luke Lilledahl. Can you find your way to the leg? There's a shot. Yep. Shallow penetration for Luke Lilledahl. Good recovery from Spencer Lee. Now 1:20 to go as they finger fight in the middle of the mat. They'll stop it. And we're back to center. Another shot there from Spencer Lee. Now underhooking. Strong position for Spencer, who's continuing to wrestle really hard here. He's wanting to add to that lead. Working for that step out. And he's going to add another point. Spencer Lee now pulling away from Luke Lilledahl after giving up the opening 4 points.
That was clean. That was clean. You can tell he's wrestling with a vengeance here. He wants to make a statement. Not only make a team, but make a statement.
48 seconds away from doing just that is Spencer Lee, the 3-time NCAA champion, 2-time Hodge Trophy winner, Olympic silver, trying to add another accolade and get back on the world stage. He's got 30 seconds. Luke, a champion in his own right, having won world titles, U17, U20, and U23s, trying to make that senior world team, but having a hard time pursuing Spencer Lee. There's a
shot.
single leg, close.
Oh,
Great recovery from Spencer Lee. 15 seconds to go. Time running out for Lightning Luke. 10 seconds to go. They're gonna warn Spencer Lee there, attention.
And those little defenses are massive. You know, you think most guys would concede there. They turn down, they'd be satisfied with going 8-6, knowing that they still could get to their feet.
2 straight for Spencer Lee. Back on the world team at 57 kilograms as he's wobbled again. Uh-oh. Don't like that, but congrats to Spencer Lee. 2 gritty wins.
I'm not sure what the affliction is here.
Yeah, is it knee? Is it? As he's down. We'll take a look at the replay here. This is that opening score. 4 for Spencer Lee as they stay quad pod. There's the 1. There's that key 2 and 2 for Spencer Lee. Just unstoppable from that top position. I don't think we've had a wrestler like this from the top position in USA history in a long time. And there you see Spencer's kind of gathered himself a smile. And the legend of Spencer Lee continues to grow as he makes his 3rd straight team, Olympics in 24, Worlds in 25, and there. And Zahid moved on by the narrowest of margins, Jordan.
Yeah. Somehow you find a way. Sometimes you got to be good. Other times, Christian, you just got to be lucky. A favorable call there at the inning sequence we thought was 2. He was fortunate enough to get the 1-point call, preserve his lead, and now he's in the driver's seat. All he needs is 1 more victory, but you know Kyle's gonna make some adjustments. He actually did since the last time we saw them, where it wasn't fairly competitive. Now it looks like the gap has been closed significantly. We're gonna see exactly who makes the best adjustments in this next round.
And how quickly do we see Dake try to get back to that body lock position? Finding offense for Kyle has been hard. He's been able to compete, but finding offense has been a challenge. Do you think he goes back to that after seeing a little bit of success there?
Yeah, 100%. Well, he shoots his body lock almost like a sweep single. He goes sweep to the seatbelt position, pulls down on head, and then looks for them to pull up, gets to the body lock. It's been an effective movement that he's used throughout his career, and he's moving really well. Look at him controlling center early.
Zahid in the blue and orange singlet for the Cowboy RTC. Kyle Dake in the red. Nittany Lion Wrestling Club here. A lot of movement here in the first 30 seconds. Level changes there. And then Zahid almost caught that single leg, but Dake able to jack an underhook on the right side, pull him up as Zahid warned for passivity in the first 45 seconds.
7th all-time meeting here between Valencia and Dake. Looking for a spot on the world team.
More level changes. He looks to fix his head wrap. Dake faked a shot there. Left-handed collar looks to an attack as Dake in on the other side.
Nice, he gets to the body again. This got Zahid on the edge. Zahid digging feet, Dake slowly pushing. Wow.
How did he change the mat on him like that? Now bringing him to the edge. Zahid scores, Jordan.
That was an extraordinary exchange right there. He literally had his heels dug right along the white line in the danger zone. Somehow counters the position, runs Dake out of bounds, and scores the first point.
Sometimes you see the tightrope walk, but that was something exceptional from Zahid Valencia. It was Dake in his preferred position with that underhook, but it's Zahid with that opening score. Now a passivity warning coming against Kyle Dake.
And when Kyle shoots, he has the capacity to get to legs. He's been a lot more conservative over the last year or so with his attack rate, but he is a prolific offensive scorer. His strength, which is his power and his explosiveness, has been a bit neutralized up a weight class at 86 kilos. But he looks like he's filling out the weight class nicely now. Just 2 years away from an Olympic cycle. Already a multiple-time world champion at 79 kilos, made the jump up to 86 and has looked solid since.
Pulling on the head is Kyle Dake. Can he fatigue Zahid Valencia? You alluded to Zahid's conditioning. Looked like a year ago that had been solved largely, but it's still always there that Dake could wear a guy out and score late.
Well, fatigue wears on you emotionally, mentally. All of a sudden your calculated attempt starts to break down, and you're taking unnecessary risk and you're taking poor shots. And Zahid has been a master of the offensive game. He can shoot from his knees, he can double leg inside trip. He's got a big arsenal in his wrestling.
Zahid, a native of, oh, they're gonna stop it for the head pops. He says, watch it. They're both chirping as we go to the break.
It was him, no, it was him. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
At the end of period one,
Ever an opponent that drew it out of you? The war of words on the mat?
You know what's unique about wrestling is you never really talk to your opponent. So you just cut them with your eyes, right? Like there's a tension that's built. We rarely say things to one another. It's usually us addressing the opposite corner's coaches, the referees themselves, but rarely are you talking to the individual. But we spend so much time around one another. You come to any Olympic Training Center camp, acclimation camp, you get to see all of us eating together in the cafeteria, training in the sauna. We spend so much time that it's testy here, but it's usually all love.
Second period underway. Plenty of love between these two. Zahid and Kyle Dake, as Dake's in on the attack. He's got him on the edge. What's going to be the call here? 2 offered, 2 confirmed. Dake in the lead.
And that's what he needed. That's exactly what he needed there. Zahid slow back to the center. He needed a big sequence in order to find a way to put some points on the board. And now he gets to move again. We talked about his match management strategy. He's really difficult to score on.
Zahid has not gotten the legs really. His lone point was off the changing the mat and getting the step out.
With that step out,
2:16 to go. Zahid down by 1. He's going to have to get to 3 points. And Zahid's really bothered by the hands to the face from Kyle Dake. And he's indicating that the finger fight. Definitely Zahid getting taken off his game a little bit here by Kyle Dake. Pawing at the head is Kyle Dake. Popping the chest. Definitely taking Zahid out of his offensive element thus far. Minute 45 to go. There's a shot from Zahid. The head wrap finally falls off. Zahid gonna go on the shot clock. So going the wrong way for Zahid here. He needs a point here. And are you seeing fatigue on the face of Zahid Valencia, Jordan?
Yeah, for sure. You are.
There's a shot. Changing the mat again. Another point. What's going to be the call here? 1, the step out.
That's
2
gonna be
offered. 1 from the chair. So
he's going to get 1 point for the push out. He should get an additional point in another 12 seconds. If Zahid is unable to score, the shot clock continues. He's going to take a commanding lead here, 4-1. And I think, Christian, we knew this after watching that first match. He looked exceptionally close this year. Zahid didn't look as explosive. And Kyle's now controlling center.
Sweep single, Zahid needs this, but it's Kyle Dake flattening him out for the time being, now threatening that chest wrap position. Can Zahid navigate this finish? Zahid seems a little zapped right now. Down 3, 52 seconds to go. Zahid could go takedown and then a 1 and would be in the lead 4-4 on criteria for you guys trying to figure out what Zahid has to do. But to see him, you know, for now 5 minutes of this match, unable to get to the legs but one time, that's a surprise, even with Kyle Dake being factored in. Zahid getting wiped off, clearing that blood out. What are you telling Zahid Valencia right now as you're down 3 to Kyle Dake?
Well, at this moment, he needs to refocus, right? I think he's got about 42 to 45 seconds left to go all-out sprint. He's going to need a sequence, either a takedown to a turn or multiple takedowns. So he's got to be wise here. But if you're Kyle, you've got some points to give. I'm moving. I'm being elusive. I'm faking. I'm playing the game, and I'm not really allowing myself to be set up for a sequence. I want to be disruptive with my hands and make it really difficult to be a sitting target.
They're continuing to wipe the moisture off the mat there, as you can see. Want to make sure the surface is dry for this final 52 seconds of wrestling we're going to have.
And Zahid's only got a single takedown in these last 2 matches. Dake doing a really good job of slowing him down.
Zahid says it's still wet. He's getting a little more time.
He's getting all the time he needs.
Recharging those batteries as best they can as they look for a little more moisture to wipe up. All right, dry as it's gonna get, I guess. Reminder, 52 seconds to go as we are underway here. Final sprint here from Zahid Valencia. Can he find his way to the legs? Dake eluding. Another shot. And now close to another point, nothing yet. Zahid able to recover. 35 seconds to go now. Zahid, as you mentioned before, really good at wrestling from his knees. Hard to run around, hard to push out. That's what Dake's trying to do here. But this is eating up precious time for Zahid Valencia. No step out yet. You have to get that pinning point, the chest or head out of bounds as well. They're gonna stalemate it, but still, so much time.
A lot of time gone. That was wise right there for Kyle Dake, staying on the edge, milking the clock.
An inside trip attempt there. Dake recovers. Zahid misses the leg. 4 seconds to go. Jordan Burroughs, hope you don't have any plans tonight. 4 matches. Going to a 3rd and final match. Dake forces the 3rd.
Oh my goodness, man. These guys are warriors. Huge hearts.
Top of his game domestically as we are ready to go here. 74 kilograms. Match number 3 underway. James Green, David Carr now. And right away you're seeing James get his right hand on the head of David Carr. Overcaller from David Carr in the opening 15 seconds. Legs low and driving is David Carr. And do we see the fakes? Do we see the attacks from David in the early going? Ear to ear they go in this opening 30 seconds as you see David clearing out of those ties. And we're gonna have a passivity warning against James Green, the first of the match, his first. James Green, 6 years older than David Carr. James is 33, David Carr 27. And so far, these two just content to hand fight. We haven't seen those fakes and level changes from David Carr as of yet. Just the one passivity warning against James Green and now one against David Carr.
And really only the singular sequence in the last match where, you know, James had a brain lapse just for a single takedown and then gave up 2 turns. But he's been really owning the mat and owning the match in the last 2 matches for the majority of the wrestling time. And David here's, you know, utilizing his positioning, trying to push forward, just wearing him.
And is that the message to James Green as you see him hit a slick little shuck by there for 2? He's gonna once again jump out to an early lead here against David Carr.
Again, just very intelligent wrestler, understands how to leverage his position, very aware of techniques to alleviate pressure, deflect. He does that nicely there in that sequence. James Green ahead again, 2-0. Still not an insurmountable lead though for David Carr, as we see. Nice head slip there.
He was down 5-0 late in that match. The takedown in 2 turns, securing the victory. Carr playing it a little differently. He was doing a lot of faking, or at least a lot of shots, I would say, in that second match. But here just kind of locked in that hand fight.
And match 2 was a weird one, Christian, with all the stoppages for blood time. James's nose was leaking the entirety of the match, and it kind of disrupted the rhythm and flow for both wrestlers. I wonder if that came into play. It looks to have been maybe cauterized here. We're not seeing any blood from Red's corner. And James doing a great job. Right back on his horse, holding position. Is going to take a 2-0 lead heading into the second period.
And that's it for the first. James Green, 2-0 lead. Not a lot going on in that opening match, just a quick strike, as we've seen time and time again from James Green. Definitely slick. There you see Brent Metcalf, Nate Carr Sr. in the corner for David.
The first match typically goes to the guy who makes the best adjustments. And the second match typically goes to the guy who has the biggest heart. And the third match, you know, oftentimes goes to the guy who's in the best shape. Guys who are prepared for a 3-match series. Your body's a little beat up, you're feeling beaten and bruised, and your ego's a little hurt because you've already lost in exchange matches earlier in the day. This is a testament to willpower here.
Does it feel like David wanted it to come down to this second period and he was waiting, you know, try to take a little bit out of James Green in that first period and then really put on the pace and pressure here in the second?
No, I think his coaches just got on him in that break and said, hey, the reason why you're here is because you had a relentless pace late in that second match. Don't abandon that strategy. Stick to your aggressiveness. Use your fakes and your hand fight to bring them to you. That's when your offense is most potent.
They're going to indicate, and it will be, in fact, David Carr on the passivity clock. Key 30 seconds here, it feels like, Jordan.
Yeah, this one's huge. You don't want to go down 3-0 if you're David Carr here, effectively being down 2 takedowns or 2 sequences, period. You want to try to go create pace and score. So even if you don't get points on the board, you're still chipping away at the conditioning of your opponent. He's doing a good job thus far. Nice fakes. Great reactions by James.
Stuttered there from David Carr, and another point goes on the board. Carr down 3. Minute 45 to go, and Carr has been coming up short on his attacks thus far. Another shot, this time a little closer, but a great recovery from James Green as he catches a front headlock. They're squared up, 90 seconds to go. Cleared out of the ties. They indicate now towards James Green. James gonna go on the shot clock here. That's big for Carr. Could potentially put him within a takedown of taking the lead.
Looks like we got some more blood here. They're gonna take a quick break as they wipe up the mats.
Probably only a matter of time before that happened again as they go to James Green. It's been the nose, particularly the right nostril, that's been bleeding a lot for James. So they're gonna wipe that up, clean up James.
So we've got 1 minute and 18 seconds left here. Christian scores 3-0. James is going on the shot clock here, which will give him 30 seconds to score or else concede a singular point, which is actually huge in this moment, because then it'll mean that David Carr is only effectively down by a takedown. Takedown wins it with a little over 45 seconds left in the match, putting himself in the driver's seat. But James doing a really good job of controlling the hand fight. We'll see if he tries to get offensive here and goes and gets a point. If you're David Carr, you still should be looking to score here. A takedown along with the additional passivity point, you could go ahead and take the lead in this next 30. He makes an attempt here.
And it looks like he's got some attempts, couple attacks so far, level changing. Do we see him work those fakes that series as he looks duck? A lot of pressure being applied here, but absorbing it well is James Green. 50 seconds to go in this match as the shot clock point goes up. But as I say that, Green gonna bring him towards the zone, but changing the mat. Great job. They're gonna say 1 red. I thought Carr might have changed the mat on him, but it looks like it's 1 for James Green. And I don't know how you saw that one, Jordan, but it looked, I did not see that David had stepped out completely. No brick from Coach Metcalf.
You got to think about it, but if you give up a point, you need right now you need a takedown and a push out, correct?
Yes, that would do it.
But if you lose the challenge, you need 2 takedowns.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to let it ride. I think he was extremely close to giving up the push out. I thought he had turned him enough to get the head out of bounds, but James, again, savvy on the edge. His counter offense has been impeccable today.
Now 42 remains, 4-1 the score. Carr basically where he was before he went on the shot clock, down 3. Needs a series of scores. Level change there, another shot. Trying to drag out of it, 30 seconds to go. Carr sprinting at him. Final 25 for David Carr. James Green trying to hold off the 27-year-old David Carr. Level change, he shoots in, can't get it. That's been the story of this match, the defense of James Green. 10 seconds to go. David Carr in trouble. Green can smell it, he's getting close. Final 5 seconds, Green can evade. And James Green, 33 years old, makes his 8th world team. A lot of emotion from James Green, the normally stoic Greasy. Big embrace with Mark Manning and Brian Snyder, his longtime coaches.
Well-deserved, hard work, effort, relentless pursuit of excellence, takes care of his body, takes care of the people around him, is coachable, is humble. He's the ultimate package when it comes to a wrestler and competitor. And his 8th team. Wow, what a performance.
Only do it one time. To make the team, which is the ultimate prize here in America, you gotta win 2. Kyle Snyder, Steve Buchanan underway, 3rd and final bout here. Snyder in the red, Buchanan in the blue, and right away Snyder shooting, finishing, takedown Snyder right away, setting quite the tone.
That's a good start. That's the way you want to come out and set the tone early in match number 3. You know, Kyle Snyder comes out and he's been really effective with his leg attacks today, getting to his high crotch. He's got his high snatch single and also his ankle pick. Used a variety of attacks in all 3 matches. He's not showing any signs of slowing down.
Now a snatch single.
Again, foot stomp snatch. He's gonna get another takedown. And if you're Buchanan, you've got to adjust. You know exactly what's coming. And if you're Snyder, you keep your foot on the gas. It's there again. Keep faking and hinting at it.
And you saw Coach Sanderson and Varner kind of chirping towards the judge. They're wanting to know where that caution in one is against Buchanan, as Buchanan responds with a takedown. These guys are just gonna let it fly in match 3. Is he gonna gut him? That was close. Crazy first period here, Jordan.
Buchanan is a gamer, I tell you what. He comes back and responds. I thought this thing was gonna start getting ugly. We're 6 points in the first 50 seconds. Like what I see from both of these guys.
Absolutely, you love to see the points, the attacks, the risk. That's what fans love. Kyle Snyder pressuring for controlling center yet again. Underhook on that right side as Snyder just methodically brings him to the edge for a 1-point step out.
A lot of energy exerted in the first minute of this match. We talked about conditioning becomes a large factor in match number 3.
There's that snatch single yet again for Kyle Snyder. He has been getting the legs so consistently in all 3 of these matches, and he's going to get another point for his efforts. Now 6-2. 2 takedowns, 2 step outs for Snyder. You can tell Snyder wants to send a message here after dropping that second match on criteria. Snyder continuing to move Buchanan around the mat as we approach the final minute of the opening period. Buchanan just drops down to his knee.
And relentless pressure.
Trying to alleviate the pressure somehow.
Oh, he tried to step over top of the armpit. He's going to trap that right arm with his left knee as he looks go behind.
Now looking the other way goes Kyle Snyder.
And look at the left hand just stuffing hay. The pressure is immense. And he just is unrelenting.
Drives him out. This is just impressive offensive scoring from Kyle Snyder. .30 to go. Snyder in the driver's seat. He's been attacking pretty consistently this opening period. And there he pancakes, throws that by off the attack from Stephen Buchanan. Kyle could score big here, running out of bounds, now staying inbounds. Now a big loft. He was thinking high amplitude there. I thought
Still
the
nothing.
Knee did not touch, evidently.
Short time, and there it is.
What a final flurry there.
Wow.
It was half freestyle, half folk style. Looked like Steve Buchanan was trying to get hands turned and cut.
Oh, that looked like a 30-second double overtime ride-out period.
You're not kidding. As Buchanan takes his time, headed back to center. There you see Cale Sanderson, Jake Varner in the corner there for Kyle Snyder. Man who has done so much winning in his career.
And is only 30 years old.
Only 30.
He's got a lot left in his gas tank. And right now, he's operating in dominant fashion, ahead 9-2. And really firing on all cylinders. Everything has worked for him this match. He's found some especially good attacks with his foot stomp high single.
And we'll see, does Kyle Snyder continue to look for more? There's a shot from Buchanan. He has to attack, but that can play right into where Snyder wants you. This short offense position. He's been able to score, runs to the right, comes up with an underhook. And they'll white paddle it. 2:27 to go in the second period. Left hand on that collar tie for Stephen Buchanan. And there's a beautiful drag. Good recovery from Stephen Buchanan, but Snyder not going to stop attacking. Kyle almost got the back there. And just kind of frozen for a moment there are the two wrestlers. 97 kilograms, 213 pounds and change. There's another shot from Stephen Buchanan. Once again, finds himself carrying all the weight of Kyle Snyder. That's a lot of weight to bear. Minute 36 to go now.
And Kyle's noticeably backed off the pressure a little bit here. He's wisely staying low in his stance, keeping his hands at home and waiting for an attack. And watch it the way he lowers his stance and absorbs the shot with his down block. It's really clean.
Good level change there from Kyle as we approach the final minute 20 here in this third and final bout. Once again, Buchanan finds himself underneath Kyle Snyder. As you see the official inspecting that lock that Kyle had around the head. Stutter fake from Buchanan, trying to create an opening to honor there. As Jordan mentioned, Snyder taking a more defensive tactic, knowing he's 50 seconds away and has a 7-point lead. It's going to make Steve Buchanan go through him. Buchanan hanging out on his knees, needs to come back up, and they blow this position dead. They'll head back to center. Final 40 here for Kyle Snyder. Another shot for Buchanan. Comes up with an underhook on the left side, throwing it by is Kyle Snyder.
Tricky technique there, Kyle. Buchanan still coming after him. He still believes that there's a possibility here. If not, he's going to go out on his shield, still taking attacks, and Kyle doing a good job of staying disciplined in his stance.
There's a lot of positives to take away for Stephen Buchanan here. There's no consolation prizes in wrestling, but for Stephen Buchanan, what a debut season as he gets another point. 5 seconds remain as Kyle Snyder is all but on his 12th straight world team. Time runs out. Kyle Snyder, it took 3, but he gets the job done, making his 12th straight world and Olympic team. Congrats to Kyle Snyder, headed to Kazakhstan.
Looks phenomenal. Really
unbelievable.
Like, you know, some guys you're like, man, it's just competition. I'm not sure these guys like one another. You know, it's
a little chippy.
It's hard because there's only one spot, and they both want it, and they both believe in themselves, and they have superior skills.
There's a shot right away. Marcus Blaze in on a high crotch, trying to duck his head underneath, and that's what he does. But this is where Jax can be so dangerous as he looks for a crotch lift.
Oh, he's got the cradle. He's got it.
What can Jax do with his cradle? Marcus Blaze defending well as Jax stepped out.
That's got to be 1 point red first.
They're going to say 1 blue. 1 blue confirmed.
Really?
So Jax strikes first, counters the score, locks up the cradle. That could have been a lot worse for Marcus Blaze.
100%. You got to count that as a victory there. He's fortunate.
And looked like a hand to the face of Jax Forrest. They stop it before the attack. Opening 20 seconds. It's a good shot from Marcus Blaze. You feel like you can go back there, potentially navigate that finish, but does that make you even more cautious as they stop it yet again?
I like Blaze's pace right now. He's doing more than we've seen him do in the last 2 matches.
Elbow control on that left side for Marcus Blaze as they're ear to ear. I wonder if it will ever even be able to see an attempt of Jax Forrest from his slide by. It feels like Marcus Blaze has shut that down entirely.
Yeah, too disciplined with his hands. He's not going to really push into him. He's not going to send an insane amount of pressure unless he has him underneath. The only time that Marcus pressures forward is once he finds himself in the front headlock position.
Marcus wrestling a lot of this match from a square stance. Hard right leg lead there for Jax Forrest. Different tactics, different positioning from both of these guys. One thing you note about that square stance is now we see a 2-on-1 here for Marcus Blaze. He's hustling. Man, Jax is so hard to run around.
Goes for it. Nothing there. Only 1-0 on the scoreboard, but the action doesn't reflect it. It's been an action-packed first period.
This is going to be a tough pace for these guys to sustain also. Both these guys been ultra aggressive opening. Jax has really attacked consistently throughout the series, but been coming up short in terms of getting to legs.
First passivity warning on Marchetti.
No one's gone on the clock yet. No one will go on the clock in this first period as you see Marcus punch that hard underhook, drop into a knee. Is Jax Forrest recovering well? He gets that elbow. And Marcus has really gotten to that position. That's his go-to position where he scores so many points. And Jax has really been able to shut that down with the exception of that late score in the first match. Back to that underhook. Blaze has been able to get to that, and he pulls him down again. It feels like at one of these times he might be able to run around, but let's see. Jax digging toes, controlling that elbow. First period done. 1-0 on the scoreboard. I think it was 1-0 at the break in the first two matches as well, Jordan.
Yep, that's right. And so we'll look to see Jax Forrest likely go on the clock in the second period of this match, giving Marcus Blaze an opportunity to take the lead by criteria. We haven't seen a lot of risk taken while on the shot clock. We realize that the shot clock point, although powerful seemingly in the moment, really hasn't had a ton of influence on any of our matches.
All right, back underway. Second period, Jax Forrest, Marcus Blaze. Snap from Marcus Blaze, looking to run around. Jax pursuing, trying to get that step out, can't get it. Finger fight, they got their hands in the air. They're indicating towards Marcus Blaze here. We'll see if they ultimately hit him for passivity as they're now in the dead center of the mat as you see the official indicating towards Marcus. Marcus warned for passivity, and he is on the shot clock, Jordan.
Again, for the second time in this match, and Jax Forrest has been the evident aggressor here. Blaze is taking the one shot where he got deep in on the single leg. Forrest countered and got to the cradle, only gave up one step out there. Oh, that's a nice shot.
Throws the head to the outside as Jax Forrest.
We're
scrambling again.
And look at Blaze try to get his forehead into the inner thigh.
That's how you do
Jax
it.
Forrest. He shelves the leg. Jax may be in danger here. Switches off, and they give the initial 2.
I think you brick.
We got White paddle on the side here.
Now what's the call here? 2 on the gut. 4-1 is on the scoreboard now for Marcus Blaze.
What looked like Jax kind of
stopped wrestling.
Yeah, he fell asleep at the wheel here as he's looking to get confirmation from the opposite referee, and Marcus never stops.
Savvy wrestling from Marcus Blaze. Now Jax Forrest in a pretty big hole, looking to run around here. Almost has it, not giving up on it is Marcus Blaze as Jax Forrest. You can imagine he's gonna empty the clip here. Now what's gonna be the call? Caution 1 red for 2 hands on the head there, and they're gonna conference on this. So they're not gonna conference.
And this has gotten ugly in a hurry here.
5-1 now.
Now leads 3-1, just over 2 minutes left.
Finger fight now, underhook left side. Jax looking for that swing single. He is really, for as well as he's attacked legs, this is it. In deep.
Wow.
The limp knee of Marcus Blaze has made an appearance a couple times in this match. Pulling on the head, Marcus Blaze, such a good match manager at this point. He got his big scores the 2-2. Another shot there.
Again, look at how he catches hands, Christian.
So consistently.
He's fishing for hands out of the air, and it's just so disruptive for Jax because you've got to continuously restart your sequence. You need an anchor, whether tricep, wrist, collar, and he's catching wrist every time on entry, and he just makes it really difficult for his opponents to get a clean shot off.
Just a positional masterpiece from Marcus Blaze, tactically smart. Got to the legs more consistently this match. He's 9 seconds away as they're gonna hit him for attention. Caution in 1. That point's gonna go up 5-2, but might be too little too late for Jax Forrest. 5 seconds to go. And he's continuing, and that's gonna do it. Marcus Blaze took 3 matches, but Blaze gets it done. 61-kilogram world teamer redemption for Marcus Blaze.
His style is built for freestyle. That's the game changer. He's so disciplined in his stance. He's hard to score on. He's a great scrambler. He's very patient in his stance. He knows how to play the game well. He's a grand master of this thing. Beautiful work.
And you see a big celebration. Marcus Blaze hugging Cody and Cale Sanderson, his coaches at Penn State. The normally very stoic, you know, we talked about James Green stoic, also Marcus Blaze, but when you make that world team, what's that emotion like, Jordan?
Relief. Lots of relief. You just think about think that this is Kyle Dake's match to go win. And he's just really surprised a lot of us. I think that if he can pull this off, I think this would be, you know, one of the more epic performances of his career, considering his age and the things that he's been through as of late. We'll see if Zahid can return to his former self and retain his placement on the world team.
Early shot here from Zahid, running his feet. Did Dake turn him enough? One blue confirmed. Those are Dake's points, Jordan.
We'll see. David Taylor's been money with the brick today. He's going to hold on to it, which tells you all you need to know about that sequence. Kyle Dake is just being really crafty on the edge. That's where he's made his money throughout this match.
Almost had the angle on that drag. There's a high crotch, beautiful shot here, sitting in the corner though, locking in the crotch. That's 2 more for Kyle Dake, 3-0 lead. Beautiful defense sitting to the corner there from Kyle Dake. Just, that looked like the drill. Sits in the corner, locking the crotch, takes him through, and now Zahid Valencia in a hole early. Things have gone from bad to worse for Zahid.
Man, Dake's feeling himself, right? He's feeling it. He's feeling confident. He's getting closer, and Zahid's getting to the legs, but still having a hard time scoring. Look at him run it down.
He's sending a message here, Jordan.
Yeah, and like we said before the match, after match 2, it was kind of almost, you knew, you could feel it. And, you know, he's out-wrestled him in pretty much the entirety of the match. You know, Zahid hasn't really put many points on the board here. And I got to wonder if it's rooted in, you know, some of it is the excellence of Kyle Dake, but also is it the World Championship hangover? You know, you spend an entire lifetime and career chasing this elusive World Championship, and once you finally get it, you realize that it's not what you expected. And it's really hard to get back onto a place where you're motivated and feeling hungry to go and train and compete after doing something like that. We know that Dake is looking for an Olympic gold medal. Nothing else matters to him. And right now he's primed to put himself back in a position to be in the driver's seat to do that in LA for 2028.
2 minutes have passed. It's a 4-0 lead for Kyle Dake. There's a club sweep. Dake's had all the answers so far. Another shot. Zahid has been able to get in, but the finishing has been a real challenge. Kyle Dake, all the answers right now. 37 seconds to go in this opening period.
And Zahid's just switching off a little bit too soon on a lot of his attacks. He's getting to a hamstring, but then he's looking double right away. And typically when he's got an opponent outmatched in terms of athletic ability, it works for him, but he's switching off too soon, and Kyle's just finding his underhook and able to neutralize the effectiveness of his offense.
Nice high crotch in deep, but it back right in the chest wrap, stopping the finish.
Back in the center, yep. Again, goes to high C, switches off to double a little bit too soon. He needs to stay on a single leg, elevate the foot, and try to look for a finish that way. Some level of exposure, but when you switch to a double, that's exactly where Dake wants to be. That's in his wheelhouse.
For Zahid, it doesn't seem to be a fatigue issue. The problem seeing, and it appears your opinion is also it's more of a technical issue.
Yeah, there's genuine confusion. It's you know, and when we see Kyle Dake wrestle with an edge, that's when he's at his best. And I think back to the Olympics where he was in the bronze medal match against Sabalov, and it was a crazy match, like 15-13. Then all of a sudden he gets angry and he comes out and points start flying, and the match didn't last much longer after that. I think that's what's happening here. They're starting to get chippy, and Kyle's taking it personal, but he's using it and channeling it to score points in the matchups.
And you see that the chippiness a little bit. Hard double here for Kyle Dake. What's going to be the call here?
That's
for blue. Got a brick coming from the Cowboy corner, but I think this is probably going to stand looking like feet to back for Kyle Dake. Another exclamation point for Kid Dynamite. And we'll take a look at this challenge. Here we go, Jordan. Give us your take.
Yeah, and so you'll notice here, as they get closer to the edge, Zahid's just going to go for broke. Instead of turning down or looking to give up just a single push out, he's going to plant his feet, and he's going to try to elevate and take him over top of his right shoulder, which there's some merit here, right? He changes the direction of Kyle's trajectory. If you notice, when he plants right foot,
we take
get this back on screen. And Zahid's going to plant his right foot. He's going to use the overhook on the left side and the underhook on his right side to try to go almost like elevator slash lat drop here. But Kyle never really exposes. He changes his direction.
We have the announcement.
Commits an offensive singlet foul during this action. His points are canceled. Time will be reset to 2 minutes, 46 seconds. Blue is given a warning for an offensive foul.
Wow.
The challenge is won.
Challenge won. David Taylor like 5 for 5 with bricks right now, but no points.
They weren't looking for that. There's no way they were looking for a singlet foul in that scenario, but you know, it's one of those things where you take it, you take what you can get.
And some boos from the crowd. Definitely out here on the East Coast. This is a pro Kyle Dake crowd. They didn't like those 4 points getting wiped off the board, but as it stands still, for Kyle Dake, this is a very big lead.
Yeah, he's exactly where he wants to be. He's going to continue to move, be elusive, be ready to absorb the attacks, hit him with counters of his own, which he's been looking really offensive. He's just been playing off of the aggression of Zahid. See, again, every time switches off to the double too soon. If he just remains on the single leg high C and finds an alternative route, I think he can score. He's getting to the legs, he just cannot find a way to finish.
Finishing not normally a big issue for Zahid. Normally I would say it's one of his better qualities that go along with his volume of leg attacks. He's a proficient finisher generally. Another shot, down block there by Zahid Valencia. Still 90 seconds to go. Feels like a takedown will put him right back in it, but it's Kyle Dake on the attack. Back to that seatbelt position.
He's got that deep seatbelt again. Got head position, shoulder buried underneath the chin of Zahid. And he's just gonna hang here, content with maintaining his lead.
Back underway, minute 15 to go. Zahid is pursuing. takes another shot, Dake staying at home as he pounces to an attack of his own. Dake gonna go on the shot clock here. Now just 1:05 to go. Doesn't change much for Zahid. He needs several scores in all likelihood.
So that was Dake's first passivity, so he's actually not on the clock.
Yeah, he won't go on the clock in all likelihood.
Which, I mean, he's done a lot of the work this match too.
Totally agree.
No,
he will go on the clock. They were indicating towards him, but white paddle by the judge and chair, so he doesn't go on the shot clock. Final 38, a shot from Zahid Valencia. 35 to go. Kyle Dake planted in the center of the mat. Zahid Valencia trying to find an opening, and they have not been there for the reigning world champion on his last legs here. Shot, and he just kind of concedes there for a moment, then kicks out of it. 16 seconds to go. Hard club from Zahid Valencia. Back in, there's a shot. Dake planted. The crowd senses it. Dake can sense it. It took 3, but Kyle Dake makes the world team, 86 kilograms.
Hey, some people, you can't stop them. You can't stop them.
And look at this emotion from Kyle Dake.
He's special, man. He truly is a special competitor. He's got a great mind, incredible discipline, and is back on the world team at an Olympic weight. It's wild, man. Have we ever seen someone make a world team at 3 different